It's a dark night. 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 It's a It's a dark night. 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 It's a dark night.
Someone got my fucking channel down.
Really? All right. I can see these guys are already. Yeah, hold on. There's already a big discussion going on here in the open lines. Shout out to everybody out there. Oh, hold on a second. This is your host, Mr. BDA. Hopefully, everybody's doing great out there. Hold on. I'm a little screwed up here because people were already talking in the open lines. Shout out to everybody out there listening to the BDA Boxing Show. It's your host, Mr. BDA, broadcasting to you live from the True North. It's a good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, this is the Open Lines Show where you guys get to jump on the Discord and give us your thoughts on the topic at hand. I mean, you can always swerve, but for the moment, we want to stick to pound-for-pound business, so make sure to do that. Before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. You can also donate via the Buy Me a Coffee app. What the hell is going on here? Buy Me the Coffee app. It always helps us out. You can join the Patreon page. That way you get more bang for your buck as well. You can join the membership program. That way you get special badges, emojis, the whole shebang. And that's about it. Now, the Patreon is free. We got free content there that we can't post on the YouTube. But you can also access it for free, or you can donate for as little or as much as you want. So make sure to stick to that over there. And that's about it. Listen, fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Let's give a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Abel. Hold on a second. This music won't stop. Shout out to Abel, the 1818, Rapax Trucking Company, 2 Matador, Bray, Real Talk Combat, 2 Matadors, Sid White, Abel, Rapax Trucking Company, 10-4, Timothy Figueroa, Soul Passive Live. That's the real Soul Passive Live, not the imposter. Jamie Radin, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Thank you for joining us. All right, listen, the link is in the description. So make sure the VC link is in the description. So make sure to jump in, give us your thoughts on anything and everything boxing. All right, fellas, I was doing the intro here. We already got people jumping on. We got Batfish. I was gonna say Batfish, but that's Sobers. Shout out to Sobers. We got King Bucho. We got Freddie Gibbs Ribs. That sounds like the name of a pimp or something. I don't think I like that on this show. And we got Fuerte Boxing as well. Shout out to you fellas. Thank you for joining us. All right, so I don't know if you saw the title of the episode, but of course it is Pound for Pound. We had Terence Crawford defeating Canelo Alvarez last Saturday, and then a couple of hours later we had Inoue beating the last remaining challenge at 122 pounds. That's MJ Akhmadaliev, and he did it easy. He washed him. That was a wash. That's 12. That was almost like 12-0. And I mean, at this point, you still got Usyk, you got Crawford, and you got Inoue. Who is the pound-for-pound best? And I want you guys to tell us before any of the, either me or Butcher give his opinions.
Yo.
Yes.
So the pound for pound, right? It's like a little of a. People try to say they say pound for pound, and you can't include heavyweights because it's supposed to mean everyone except heavyweight, right? Because obviously heavyweight is the best fighter, the heavyweight champion is the best boxer in the world, right? So it's hard to try to include Usyk in there, but at the same time, he's really a cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight. So he's a smaller dude fighting the biggest guys in the sport, and he's beating them. So reality, it's really Usyk, right? He's fighting the guys with the biggest the weight disparity. 30, 40 pounds heavier than him. You know what I mean? So he really is a pound for pound best, right? But I mean, I was ready to give Canelo number one if it beat Crawford, so we'll give Crawford number two, and in a way, I guess he's three, right?
You guess he's
Yeah.
three.
I mean, in a way, he's either one or he's either three or two. So
He's
either you
saying
put him in
again.
front of you either put him in front of Crawford or you put him right behind him. But those are the top three guys. in the
This ain't a
sport.
guessing game, boy. You got to give us your thoughts. You got to give us to us straight. Well, I'll say this just real quick. I don't want to give my opinion, but just real quick, just to make a case for. Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
All right. Just to make a case. I think there's a big delay here between us. So let me just make it just to remind people what Inoue has done, because I mean, amongst all of this, some of Inoue's accomplishments are getting lost. People are always talking about the titles. Oh, the titles. He won his first title in less than 10 fights, and that was back in 2014. He beat Ruichi Taguchi before that, who ended up becoming the lineal champ at, I believe, at flyweight, or at some point he was a lineal champion a couple of years ago before he lost it. And since then, Inoue has just continued to rampage through division through division, and this dude is way younger than Crawford or Usyk. So there's something to be said about everything he's accomplished so far, and that he did in a short amount of time as well. So you got to give him points for that. But I just wanted to throw that out there because his name is in contention here.
I see. By the way, I just want to jump in and say Freddie Gibbs is a rapper, but also kind of claims to be a pimp. So maybe you could say that.
So I was right. How do I know? How do I have this radar
right.
on? I don't get it. My goodness gracious!
Right. Yeah. No. But yeah. Okay. So I just want to throw in on what you were saying and all. I think that these three are like the three hardest to rank pound for pound that I can remember in recent history. Yeah, I think it's I think jumping between these three is really tough because everybody has their big pros. There's not a lot of cons really for anyone, and I'll be honest with you, this may sound like a little bit middle of the road, but if you were to say, because I personally think Usyk's still pound for pound number one, but if you were to say Crawford's pound for pound number one, no argument. Yeah,
well, that's not. There's supposed to be an argument. That's the point of this show.
Of course, I understand. Which is what a little bit what I was getting to a little bit of. I think that it's really hard to rank the three of them. For me, it's Usyk at number one, Crawford at number two, and Inoue at number three. But it hurts so much to put Inoue at number three because that dude is a fucking monster. That dude is a fucking monster, dude. I mean, like his last fight. I was dead asleep after Canelo Crawford. I watched it back the next day, and I was like, Jesus Christ, it was nuts, man. In a way, I feel so bad putting him at three. But I can kind of see an argument for putting Usyk at number two. I can see an argument for Crawford being at number two. I think what it comes down to is this. Do you think that as the weight class goes up, it becomes harder to be undisputed in that weight class?
Of course.
Right. So then if we're going based on that, then Usyk is pound for pound number one, and that's the end of the discussion. But I don't think it's that simple. I think that granted, I'll be honest with you, for Crawford to beat Canelo and just become undisputed at 168, that is that is super impressive, really impressive. But that is when you compare that making him undisputed versus like what Usyk had to do to be undisputed. I rate Usyk being undisputed at heavyweight higher than that.
All right, we've heard from Freddie Gribbs, the rapper / pimp. We've heard from Never Sobers. I see we got Fuerte Boxing and Real Talk Combat here. Which one of you fellas wants to go first?
I'll go next. To me, it's real easy. Bud is number one pound for pound for being the only guy to ever undisputed in three weight classes. He's the only one. He set the bar higher than anybody else. So he's number one, Usyk number two, and Naoya number three. And I put Naoya number three because he's been dropped before. I think if you're as elite as they say you are, um, you're not supposed to get dropped regardless if the guy's
Hmm.
either stronger than you or your defense was lacking. Uh, that's like a mark, a minus mark. So he's number three. That that to me is an easy way to rank them.
It's called a demerit.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting thing, man. When you start getting to this level of pound for pound accomplishments, then it becomes you got to get down to the nitty gritty. It's just small increments might decide who's number one and who's number two. Um, you guys are making some excellent points. Sobers, are you there? I think you want. It looked like you want to say something.
I was going to, but no. By my
All
time.
right. All right, so far, here's what we've got. We've got people saying Usyk should be number one because he's bigger. We have people saying that it should be Crawford because he's three-time undisputed. And then we have somebody in the chat was saying Inoue should be pound for pound number one because he's way more active than all of these guys and he keeps on winning. Then the flip side to that coin is what Fuerte Boxing just said, which is that if you're pound for pound, you shouldn't be getting dropped. So we're getting a whole bunch of...
all the guys been dropped though, BDA, right?
Unofficially,
Usyk's never
yeah.
been dropped.
Bud's been dropped, bro. He's been dropped by Kavaluskis.
They're saying Usyk's never been dropped unless you count the low blow.
Usyk's been dropped by body shots.
That was a low
Yeah,
blow.
but I shot by Dubai. But
All right.
Canelo, if we take it that far, Canelo's never been dropped.
Well,
He
there you
hasn't.
go.
No,
He hasn't.
he probably has the best
Criteria,
chin, like probably the best chin since Triple G.
I mean, you can
since Marvin
outpoint
Hagler.
Canelo, but you can't drop him. You can stop him or drop him. So, that doesn't necessarily mean. But if you can beat him, then you're above him pound for pound. So, I don't know if we should be including that. I mean, that's the other thing. Some people say, well, okay, you can drop a guy, but can you keep him down? And with Inoue, every time, it's not even like Inoue gets up after the knockdowns and then struggles to beat these guys. Is once he gets dropped, it's not
Super Saiyan,
competitive
bro.
anymore.
No, I agree completely. I don't think. I mean, because at this point we're splitting hairs because all these guys have at or around the same accomplishments. So you have to start splitting hairs. And I think where I draw the line is that Usyk is the away fighter. 99% of the time, he's the away fighter. He's fighting in his opponent's backyard. So he's always at risk of being robbed or jobbed on the cards. And then he's fighting guys naturally bigger, naturally heavier, and he's fooling dudes. He's not having lapses in judgment, and not fighting guys. Canelo, as he is, he's not. He's a
Is
guy
it just
who
me or is he
can't
cutting off? I think
No,
you're
he's
cutting off.
breaking
He's
up.
cutting.
Okay, yeah, you're breaking up, bro.
In and out.
But if get yourself to a nice corner wherever you're at, so you can get some better Wi-Fi. Because I'm interested in what everyone has to say here. I really am. I mean, this is a real head scratcher, if there ever was one. Who is pound for pound number one? Before we continue with the phone call, with the show here, I'm still in Saturday night mode. Shout out to Jay Nails for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "I still got Usyk. Crawford will never fight a man 50 pounds heavier than him, and he came off from cruiserweight." Talking about Usyk. So he absolutely qualifies for pound for pound. Shout out to Jay Nels for his contribution there with the super chat. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there, unless Bam Rodriguez or Inoue decides to move up to a super middleweight or something. There's never going to be that much of a weight diff. I mean, it's impossible, right? I mean, you got to go up to heavyweight to encounter guys who are at least 30 pounds heavier than you. So Usyk is doing something that no one else in boxing can do.
They can't do it. Even
Yeah.
look, even they're on Crawford's nuts right now, right? Did he really fight a bigger guy? Did he look smaller than Canelo on fight night?
That's the thing.
Oh,
He didn't look that small.
Did he
He
really?
didn't
You know what I'm saying? Was he actually in there with the bigger guy?
I mean, let's keep
mean,
it real. Crawford's never fought
Yeah.
without a physical advantage.
So yeah,
Listen,
so that you know what I
yeah.
mean. That's why there's an asterisk there. I don't give a fuck. Usyk,
I
you
mean,
can't do that with Usyk.
but it depends. Listen, if you were saying that Canelo was shot, then yeah, you can say that. But listen, if you were saying that Canelo was shot, then yeah, you can say that. But if you were saying that Canelo was shot, then yeah, you can say that. and that's why Crawford had a chance. Well, one of the reasons why he had a chance. Then you look at both fighters in the ring, and there's really not that much of a size difference. Is that Canelo win enough for Crawford to move above Inoue and Usyk?
That's a good question.
No,
I mean, I
right?
guess
Because Canelo's been falling off for the last 5 years, right? So no.
yeah, anyone who said that Canelo, if they picked Crawford because Canelo was finished or on the decline, look at his legs, he can't move, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they can't really have that much of an argument for saying Crawford is pound for pound number one. Now, if you thought that this was the big challenge that everyone made it out to be, then of course, I thought Canelo was going to win. So when I look at what Crawford did, he outpointed Canelo. I don't, he didn't beat him up. That would have been way more impressive. But, I mean, he did move up 2 divisions, 1 year layoff. So that's got to count for something, right?
Of course it does. That's huge. I also just want to throw this in. I think also method of victory kind of also just played in. It's kind of like what you were just saying.
Mhm.
Like Crawford outpointed Canelo. He didn't knock him out. He didn't. I mean, I think the scorecards, the DC official scorecards, I thought were way closer in the actual fight. I think a lot of people you ask would probably have the fight 9-3. I think was the most common one, but some people were saying 10-2, some were saying 8-4.
I had
all
it
that stuff.
9-3.
You had it 9-3, yeah. I had it 9-3. And I think again he's outpointing him. Now it is a great display, but he's outpointing him. I watched Usyk knock Daniel Dubois out. And I've been watching in a way.
They're both 38. Remember, Usyk and Crawford are both 38.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been watching in a way knock out like everybody as long as I've been watching in a way. Up until his last fight a couple weeks ago or a week ago, whenever it was. Up until then, I mean, the guy was knocking out everybody. And to be fair, same with Crawford too. Up until the Madrimov fight, he was on a long knockout streak too. But again, pound for pound is so recent and everything that if we look at like method of victory, you could say, okay, well, Crawford was only outpointing him, but then what was Usyk doing to Tyson Fury?
Well, I mean, okay, hold on. Just let's back up here. How much was it the weight disparity between Usyk and Fury in the first fight?
I think it was like 40-something
40
pounds, 50-something.
40 pounds.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, here's the thing. Usyk struggled early in that fight. Do you take that into account?
A little bit, but I'll also say this. We have 2 fights to go on. We don't just have one in this, We have that and we have the rematch as well. And I think because the rematch doesn't really get talked as much because, I mean, it didn't have the exciting moments like the round 9 and all that stuff. But I think that the first fight was a more entertaining fight, but I think the second one was a better display of skill.
Yeah, he beat Fury way better in the second fight.
Well, I mean, I'll say this, because again, everyone's mind is still on what happened last Saturday, so people are in the heat of the moment. Crawford outboxed Canelo, got himself a decision, whereas Usyk, okay, he struggled against Fury, but Fury, like you guys said, was way heavier than he was, and on top of that, Usyk was the one that was backing him up, and ended up hurting him bad in the 9th round.
Well, they hurt each other, right, in that fight, Usyk and Fury.
Right.
So they were obviously going in for the kill, right? Both of them, because they both had each other hurt at some point. And you look at Canelo and Crawford. Did any of them really try to step up? Did any of them really try to be like, okay, go for broke? Was Crawford ahead enough that he said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put a cherry on top and try to drop this dude, knock him out. Did Canelo be like, I'm down, I need a knockout, let me go for it? Did either of them really do that? Because I saw that in Fury and Usyk. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. I never really saw much urgency from either guy between Crawford and Canelo. I mean, Crawford was like, all right, you come to me. And
yeah, give little love taps on the stomach. Oh my God.
And again, listen, there was a bunch of other people that tried that against Canelo. Hey, you come to me, and they couldn't pull off what Crawford did. So I give him credit for that. But now, again, like I said in the beginning of this episode, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Now we're comparing the cream of the crop with each other. And when you got like that's a good point. I can't shake that out of my mind. Usyk backing up a guy who is not only taller, longer, but heavier as well, and hurting him. Coming out of those middle rounds where he himself was hurt, and returning fire against Fury and hurting him. I got to tell you, that's a pretty compelling argument right there. It might be the best argument right now that people have for Usyk staying number one pound for pound. Let me just read a super chat here real quick, and then we'll get back to the discussion. Fellas, don't forget to hit the link. Hit the like, hit the link. Subscribe if you have to do so already, and hit the link if you want to join this discussion. It's Open Lines Friday. Everybody can jump on. Give us your thought on who should be pound for pound number one. Sid White, shout out to Sid White, says, all Usyk beat was shot fighters or fighters that were no good in the first place. Crawford or Inoue for me, but I would notch to Crawford. Guys, what do you think about that? Did the guys that Usyk beat, were they shot fighters?
I mean, once you start doing that, we can do that to
Daniel
Crawford's
Dubois
resume. I
wasn't
mean,
shot.
was Sean Porter at his peak whenever he fought him? Was Kell Brook whenever Crawford fought him? Like, was Canelo
Well, they're not
at his
asking
peak
about
when
Crawford.
Crawford fought him?
Well, it was
They're not bringing up
Spence.
Crawford.
Well, Spence was still a champion. Well, Canelo too, but Spence. I mean, this guy basically retired right after that fight. That's how bad he was.
if you really want to fucking do this, no win on Crawford's resume has ever aged well. None.
That's why, if you're a Crawford fan, you're wishing that Canelo actually comes back against whoever and shows that he still has it. Because if Canelo just retires right now, I mean, sure, some people are going to say that Crawford retired him, but that's not even true because a lot of people who picked Crawford, many people were saying that Canelo was shot. Just look at the Williams Cole fight, right? So if Canelo retires, then it proves that these people were right. This guy was shot.
By the way, now Sid White, shout out to Sid White, says Fury was past his best and Usyk beat an average. Well, he says Fury was past his best and Usyk beat an average AJ. Okay, so now first he said shot fighters, but now he's not calling AJ shot. Now he's accusing him of being average. So that's two different. Things.
Fury wasn't shot because he was undefeated.
No,
You know what I'm saying? I don't buy that one. And AJ wasn't shot, but they're saying he's average. Who else? Michael Hunter wasn't shot. Daniel Dubois wasn't shot. Everyone was backing Daniel Dubois to beat him. And if you go to cruiserweight, Marco Hook wasn't shot. Neither was Breedis, right? So it's like you guys are just looking at the heavyweights. You're not looking at the light. You're not looking at the cruiserweights. He's beat a lot of guys in their prime.
Dubois was the opposite of washed up, or what did you guys say? He was what's the word he used?
He was on the
He had a lot of momentum. He had a lot of momentum.
No, exactly. It was the opposite. Yeah, he was in a winning streak.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Just like I was saying, and then you also have to take into account that Usyk is winning all of these fights in their backyard. He's the away fighter when he could get jobbed on the cards at any moment, and he's still winning these wins dominantly.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, though. I'm looking at the stats here again. I want to hear from you guys, and don't forget to hit the link. The link is right there in the chat. Make sure to join the discussion. I'm looking at the stats here. Joshua was 31 when he fought Usyk back in 2021. That's 4 years ago. So 31, that's right in your peak. That's right in your physical peak. Now, of course, we know fighters age differently, but just for the sake of discussion, Joshua, nobody's accusing him of being shot, right? But if you think about how his resume continued on after the Usyk defeats, he ended up beating Jermaine Franklin, who just got a win this past Saturday on the Canelo Crawford undercard. He beat Helenius. He beat what's his name, Otto Wallin. And then if you wanna, you can add the Ngannou thing there, right? Whatever happened there. So that was a 4-fight winning streak right there, where he was looking pretty good. So I don't think anybody can accuse him of being shot.
I'm going to throw out something that might be a little bit hot. I don't think Ngannou is a bad win. I think granted, you could say the Fury that showed up in that fight was out of shape, not taking it seriously, Fury. But you could honestly make a good argument that Ngannou won that fight against Fury. Like, that would not be a crazy argument to make. The final scorecard came down to 1 point. You know, it was a split decision for Fury, and honestly, again, Ngannou put on a good goddamn performance in that. Now, the performance against Joshua, that was a that was nothing. That was nothing. But I think that I don't think Ngannou is actually a bad win or anything like that. I think it's a nice little decent chip on his resume.
Well,
Especially, and again, yeah.
I'll say this, man. Joshua versus Ngannou, he did what he had to, right?
Yeah, he laid him out fucking cold.
You got to take in consideration that Francis Ngannou was speaking about how somebody spiked his water because he was kind of like, he said he was coming in and out of a sleepy state. So you got to take a lot of that in consideration. You know, Saudi, they like corruption. And as you see with the dirtbag Turkey al-Sheikh himself.
But wait a minute. From what I understood, real quick. From what I understood is Ngannou claimed they didn't.
And Fury's gloves weren't right. And what are the other good excuses? You know, like
the lasers.
I don't know how
the gypsy ghost got him. The gypsy ghost didn't let him sleep the night before. Yeah, those are all excuses. Those are all the excuses. Butcher just reposted a video. I mean, he did a hour-long compilation we hadn't done before from all that. Those are excuses that you're never going to see them again. There's no other group out there that's going to implode like the one we saw 5 years ago. That was insane. But in regards to the Ngannou thing, Telkines, just to be clear, I think Ngannou complained about the fact that he didn't get time to warm up or something, right? Wasn't that the issue?
I mean, he said that he said when he drank his water, he started feeling weird.
I gotta Google that because I never heard
somebody spiked his water, bro. Somebody spiked his water.
Spiked. That was against Joshua, you're saying, right?
Never heard
Totally.
that. Never heard.
Yeah,
was that in between? Was that like sitting in the corner in between rounds? Because that might have been a concussion.
No, it was before the fight.
Okay.
All right, so don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out.
Hey, we only have 22 likes. 22 likes.
It's insane.
That's embarrassing. That is
takes 2 seconds to hit the like. Yeah.
Just hit the like or we're ending the show.
We should end it. We should end it.
It doesn't get said enough that Crawford has literally had a physical advantage in every fight he's ever had.
Who did?
That Crawford has had a physical advantage in every fight he's ever had.
What do you mean by that?
Well, he's taller,
physical
he's
advantage
longer
can
arms.
come down to either he's taller, either he has a longer reach, or he's weighed more than every opponent he's ever had.
Now, this is an argument that I've gotten into before with people about, when you get down to the nitty-gritty about pound for pound, all-time greats, by the way. And people go, well, this guy, like John Jones, for example, in MMA, even though I'm an MMA casual. But people say, oh, if he wasn't so tall, or if he wasn't so long, well, he's tall and he's long. Is that a fair counter-argument?
No, of course.
The counter argument is that these other pound for pound fighters are giving up these accolades and going into divisions where they're not the biggest guy. That's the argument. It's not that it's Crawford's fault that he's tall and long at these divisions. It's that these other guys aren't, and they're overcoming that.
Interesting. I get what you're saying. Well, by the way, somebody in the chat says King G Immortal. That sounds like a pimp right there. Y'all some retroactive haters. I don't even know how are we hating? Jump on that panel and let us know how we're hating, man. Please, I want to hear this. Spice
it's because we're not sitting here
bit.
glazing fucking Crawford. He's upset.
Well, it's a discussion.
I've said that Crawford won, no excuses or anything, and that they're still not happy. They're like,
no, because if you're not sitting here jerking them off on fucking live, then you're fucking a hater. But no, you gotta sit here and stroke his ego and Crawford's ego for him to be happy. Bro, fuck that guy.
And then like you gotta stop with the excuses, and I'm like, what excuses? I'm not making any excuses.
People are hallucinating, man. I don't know. Or fights a Benavidez, I'll be convinced he's truly up to par. Until then, he's just a clown.
All right, well, listen. If people jump on, they can jump on. If people want to jump on, they can jump on here and let us know. But going back to this discussion then. Okay, so you guys are saying that Crawford, because he's had these advantages, it sort of takes away a little bit of it, pound-for-pound discussion-wise, compared to Inoue and Usyk. I want to ask this then. Yeah, go ahead, Bucho. Go ahead.
Just quickly about Crawford's size and all of that. Uh, he did move up 2 weight divisions from 154 to 168. He didn't look that small against Canelo. So I'm wondering, how the fuck did this guy make 135, 140, 147? And
By
then
cutting muscle.
he took Canelo's shot. I know Canelo didn't land that many flush shots, but the ones he did land, they didn't really shake Crawford. So one of the reasons why I picked Canelo was like because I thought he was a better boxer. I thought that he was gonna do some other things that he didn't, and also the size. I thought maybe that could play a factor in case Canelo's skills were matched by Crawford. I still thought that the size difference was going to be a factor, but that wasn't even a factor. So like I'm shocked at how Crawford managed to make 168, but then somebody told me, I mean, this is his natural weight, and I'm thinking, well, maybe you're right. Maybe this is, you know what I mean?
It's simple,
Hey,
Bucho.
Yeah.
Crawford likes putting things in his gloves, bro. Where do you think his gloves ended up after the fucking fight, bro? Where did his gloves go after the fight?
But by the way,
Where did
Bucho,
his gloves go after the fight? Nobody found them, bro.
No.
Right.
I'm just surprised how Crawford
That's
managed.
been the talk
I
of the
feel
town for the past couple of days.
you know what?
Devin Haney's also. But Devin Haney's also a guy that can balloon up in weight, and I think this guy could make 154 as well. How the fuck was Devin Haney making 135? Right? And then when he fought Regis Prograis, he looked bigger. So I'm like,
Oh yeah.
how?
And
I don't know what
believe
these
me,
guys.
when he fights Brian Norman this November, there won't be that much of a size difference either. It'll be like Crawford versus Canelo. You look at both guys, you go, okay, they're both super middleweights.
Right.
Whereas, yeah,
And he's fighting finally a welterweight. He's fighting a welterweight titleist. And Haney, you've pointed out how he always, well, not always, but he's been
constantly.
telling some of his past opponents constantly that you're too small. You're too small. He said that to Lomachenko. He said that to who else did he say that to?
He said that to
He even
Prograis.
said it to fucking Brian Norman.
You're too small. You're too. So they know something we don't, or something that they know that they're small. They're actually bigger than what they claim.
Svetlana in the chat says, starting to get the feeling boxing is just an excuse for men to talk about size all day. Well, you're a woman, and I get it that you would think with nothing but your feelings, so we're not too interested in any of that. Gene Ryu says, Norman is getting the knockout. I mean, listen, we'll see. You know what? My preliminary thoughts on that Haney-Norman fight is, I think Haney's going to pull it off. I think he's going to pull off a decision. But we'll see what happens there.
I think Norman gets him out of there.
I mean, listen, I'm hoping. I'm rooting for Norman.
I mean, I'm praying on that. I hope he gets his ass out of there and out of boxing.
Out of boxing. I mean, listen, that's the other thing, though. Before we continue on with this pound-for-pound discussion, is anyone excited about anything? Is there anything on the docket to get excited over?
Yeah, Benavidez Yard.
Okay, but it's September. It's September the 19th right now. I'm talking in the next couple of weeks.
Parker. Oh no.
I'm looking at the.
The next like month and a half is gonna be a little bland.
Oh, come on! I can't. I mean, listen. We waited all this time for Canelo Crawford, and then it was this big build-up for 2 months. The energy and the hype wouldn't die down, and now it feels like a letdown. October the 11th, Jaron Ennis versus Usima Lima. That's it.
Portuguese fighter, bro. The IBO. He's the IBO champion at 154, man.
Oh, one at a time.
He's the IBO champion.
All right, he's the IBO champion. Tell guys, Sobers, I blame you for allowing Telcans has always been a little bit out there, but ever since you opened up La Taqueria for the past 7 days uninterrupted, the worst of people has come out. Even when I went in there, I started getting into it with El Don about a week ago.
You did, right? You guys started talking shit to each other. It's crazy, bro. The energy was electric.
La Taqueria brings out the worst out of everybody. And no, I wouldn't call it electric. I would call it toxic. That's what I would call it. I'm going to get the health services. I'm going to get the health services or something to get it inspected because I don't know.
No, it got too toxic. Someone got it shut down earlier.
Oh. But can you still stream or?
Maybe in a week.
All right. Okay. It's not that bad.
A week.
People don't like other people's opinions. That's interesting, man. It's people get angry over what people think and say. That's amazing.
I know who it was, Sobers. I have a feeling I know who it was.
All right. So let me make the case then. See what you guys think about this. For Inoue, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate here. You got to play devil's advocate for all three here. Inoue has been fighting the best since 2014 when he had less than 10 fights. There was a while where there was no competition. He was making it look easy. Okay, yeah, there was the Carmona fight where he went the distance for the first time. But other than that, he was, I hate that to use the expression or the analogy or whatever, but it was like a hot knife through butter. It really was that easy for him. And even the WB, the bantamweight tournament, he made it look easy the first two fights. He fought Payano, knocked his ass out in one round. Then he fights Emmanuel Rodriguez, then the guy that many consider number two. Inoue just goes in there. You expect a tough fight. No, sorry, Bob. 2 rounds. Less than 2 rounds, he gets him out of there. Finally, Donaire gives him a tough fight. And then Inoue wipes the floor with him in less than 2 rounds in the rematch. Then Fulton comes along. Inoue jumps up to 122. No tune-ups. No, I'm going to fight a couple of tune-ups before I get in there with the best. He fights the best guy. It was a 50-50 fight in a lot of people's eyes, and Inoue made it look easy. Not only did he drop him and stopped him, he outboxed him. And then he's made a couple of defenses ever since then. He's beaten the best. The domination aspect is what I want to get your thoughts on, guys. What do you think about him dominating all these people? Does that speak volumes, or should that be taken into consideration when it comes to pound-for-pound discussion?
Of course, that's a lot of names. It's not just one name. This is the thing with Crawford, though. Like, yeah, Canelo wins a big win, but it's one win. Like, did he clear out 168? He's the 168 pound champion now, obviously, because he beat the man who beat the man, whatever. But did he clean out 168? Did he clean up 140? He beat Ndongo, and then he beat Postal.
Felix Diaz. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to Inoue, it seems like he's like doing more at each division, except 115. Though, did he even fight at 115?
No, he skipped 115, right? Wasn't that the big deal?
This is the thing with Inoue, though, that people criticize.
I think he ducked legendary. I think he ducked the legend at 115, bro.
You talk about Chocolatito.
Yeah. And anyways, and in the chat, Bobby777 says, Bud is constantly 1 year inactive. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, Crawford beat Canelo, but what's Canelo that much bigger? Because this is the reason why they're giving Crawford a lot of credit. Oh, he moved up 2 weight divisions. He won a bigger guy. He's immediately, without a doubt, the number 1 pound for pound. And I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. Was he that much big? Was Canelo that much bigger? It was a good win. And that's why I
a little extra.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so one argument that I heard that actually really negates that too is that the guy who comes in and hits a grand slam once a year is not as great as the guy who's in there all year long. Who's putting in the work, who's getting in all the, it's not as great as one guy who takes a whole year off, comes in and has a great win. Now you're the best. No, bro. Usyk and Inoue have been putting in work consistently all year. Like, yeah, Usyk has had a little a slowdown in the last couple years because of all the stuff with Fury. But for the most part, Usyk and Inoue are far more active than Crawford. So you having one great win in 2 or 3 years is not as great as Usyk and Inoue, who are consistently staying active and still staying undefeated.
Interesting point right there.
I agree, because Crawford's looking good right now because he beat Madrimov, which is it was a close win, close fight, and then he fights Canelo. But in between that, there's a year, and in between Madrimov and Spence is another year. Okay, what would have happened if Crawford would have fought more times at 154? Would he have looked that amazing? Well, we don't fucking know. So, these other guys like Canelo and Usyk and Inoue are fighting consistently. They're showing their elite level throughout each and every fight. So to me, that's something that needs to be looked at when trying to rank these fighters in the top pound for pound list.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
No, well, I was going to say that's an interesting point because I remember when Inoue what's his name, Neri dropped Inoue, And some people were saying, "Oh, Crawford number one." Like at that point, I think it was Usyk and Inoue because I think Usyk had already stopped. Well, maybe I'm getting my timelines wrong, but for a lot of people had Usyk and Inoue number one, number two, and some people were still trying to say that it was Crawford that should have been number one. And one of the arguments I heard was, "Well, Crawford's never been dropped, or he hasn't looked bad." Blah blah. I'm thinking, yeah, he hasn't looked bad because he hasn't fought since August. Meanwhile, Inoue had been fighting. This like you said,
Exactly.
I take into consideration that's a good. What?
The more you fight, the more styles you're facing as well, right? So if you're defeating multiple fighters with different styles, then I give you more credit than maybe just picking one fighter each year.
Yeah,
One
because like I
style.
was
What
going to
about
say,
ring rust?
what about ring rust? That's a
What
good
about
counter
it?
argument.
Yeah,
What about ring rust?
you guys are saying Bud only fights once a year. Wouldn't that kind of diminish his momentum? In between camps, he might get fat. His
Well, yeah.
flexibility goes away. So
And
it's
Mayan had balls.
it's a
and-
double-edged
and that-
sword.
No, you're right. And that's why maybe he looked bad against Machimov, that 1 year layoff. But he looked good against Canelo, maybe because there were other factors involved. Maybe on the Canelo side, right? That made Crawford look better look as good as he did. Let's put it that way, right? So no, definitely the inactivity doesn't help you.
But Real
again,
Talk made a good point. Real Talk made a good point when he said if Mayan had balls, she'd be a dude. I mean, it's true. Like if let's take a look at what they've done. Let's take a look at what I mean, because we can only go so far with the speculation if we're ranking these guys pound for pound. As it pertains to the activity, listen, I'm a big fan of activity. Because we get to see our favorite fighters fight more often, but also because it is a bit of a test of wills and of determination. Because they always say in boxing, it's one of the common phrases. Like, it's easy to win the belt; it's harder to keep it, or something along those lines. Maybe I'm butchering it, but
right.
It's difficult to get it, but it's even more difficult to keep it because now everyone's after you. You're the top dog. Everyone's after you. Everyone wants what you've got, and sometimes you will fight guys who don't have the name or might not look that good on paper, but they're training their asses off, and it's easy for the champion to say, this guy, I've already been the best. Now this dude, he'll be nothing. Maybe I can slack off in training a little bit or something. You can't. That's why a lot of the dudes in boxing who are respected are the guys who have stayed in one division, but who scored a whole bunch of defenses, like the Monsons, the Haglers, or the Canizales. These are guys that you throw anybody their way and they're still looking the same. And if they don't look the same in one fight, they'll do better in the rematch. So it's true. Activity has to go a good long way in these pound for pound discussions.
Well, BDA, there's somebody in the chat.
I say that defenses as well. Defenses of the undisputed title should be just as important because Usyk and Inoue are defending their undisputed titles. Crawford is the only undisputed champion in those discussions that hasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
And
when
he
Crawford
didn't
won the
defend those
undisputed,
as well.
But then you guys
Yeah,
would nitpick who they fight, who they defend against.
What's that?
what's that? I'm good.
You guys are saying defenses, right? But sometimes that doesn't matter because you guys would nitpick, not you guys necessarily, but people would nitpick the opponents, even though Canelo fought undisputed in 1 year, yet he got slack for, fighting what people call nobodies.
Okay, but what about Inoue, for example?
He defended, 4 times or so, or won 4 belts and then defended those belts.
But you shouldn't do it.
I agree,
because,
but what I would say to that is that Crawford had great fights he could have had to defend those undisputed titles at 147. He could have fought Boots.
no.
He could have fought Norman. And even at 154, he had a chance to go undisputed in 2 fights. Fundora, who he was the mandatory for, he allowed him to get off. And then who was it? Back shots. Who's that other guy? Bakram Murtazaliev. He could have fought back shots. And been undisputed in 2 fights within the year, but he didn't want to do that. He had Turkey backing him.
What is it about boxing fans that we always turn a name into the most filthy thing? It's like, remember Triple G? It was Triple G string. Madrimov. It's Mad Rim Job. I mean, you guys are fucking. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But that's a good point. It's. Somebody in the chat says you guys keep hating on Bud changing the goalposts. What goalpost? We're having a discussion. That's the point. I think people are missing the point of this show.
And the guy's typing in old cap, like he's yelling or something.
Yeah, exactly. And the people jump on the panel. We're having a discussion about who should be number one pound for pound. So if you have an opinion, jump on. There's the link. No one's
No,
stopping you.
Mr. BDA, if you're confused as to why there are people like that, is because people like that, they don't want there to be a discussion. Because once you start discussing these things and breaking them down, yeah, Crawford, you're not pound for pound number one, bro. And these
Hmm.
people are desperate for Americans to be at the top pound for pound again. And they're like, no,
Huh.
it's not even a discussion, it's not a debate. Well, then shut the fuck up. Why are you here?
Oh, good
Or
point from Real.
join the debate. Come and talk to us. Tell us why you think Crawford should be number one.
And by the way, that's the interesting thing. I haven't even said who I have number one.
Yeah.
And people are already like, you guys, we have different opinions. We had Sobers had a different opinion. Real Talk had a different opinion. Fuerte Boxing had a different opinion. The guy with the pimp name earlier, he had a different opinion. I see we got Don J. He hasn't spoken. Don J, do you want to weigh in on this issue? Don J. Sounds like a drink.
Don Juan?
Yeah, sounds like a drink. All right, he's
That's Don.
that's a Don. Well, let me read a couple of super chat. Let me read a couple of comments here. Maybe they can get
Nah,
us.
I'm sorry,
What is
man.
it?
I'm here. I'm just enjoying the conversation because I got a whole different mindset on this whole topic due to the fact that it took me literally up until yesterday to rewatch the fight. And to me, man, honestly, I seen a whole different thing because not only did I do my own scorecards, but I score also just about the proactivity of the fight, who was in control of the fight, who was, engaging more. And in reality, if you really think about it, I'm not going to call it running, but there was a lot of reset on Bud Crawford's side,
Hmm.
a lot of resets. So I mean, everybody got their own opinion, but the way I seen it at least in all reality, like at least 7-5 for Canelo. In my point of view, not a fan point
Whoa.
of view. I had to look at it. I had to watch the fight in mute due to the fact of seeing who landed actually significant shots and who was just hitting the air. A lot of these shots, I mean, Crawford worked inside. In reality, he worked in the inside. And it made it look like he was landing. But in reality, there was not significant punches to be like, oh, ah.
Are you
Another
saying
thing
he
a lot of
pulled a
people
Sugar
didn't
Ray
speak
Leonard?
about. What was that?
He did it at the end. Yeah.
He did it at the end. I give him,
Are you
I
saying
gave
he
him.
pulled a Sugar Ray Leonard against Hagler?
No, I won't. No. But this is what I'm going at. This is what I'm going at. A lot of people's not crediting the footwork of the whole shebang, right? Canelo, we all know Canelo's footwork suck. Why is that? Because he relies too much on his head
Because he's
movement.
Mexican.
Wow. Okay. I
Just
wasn't gonna
kidding.
go there, but I went with my
You can say that.
from what
It's
I
okay.
seen.
I'll say it
From
for
what
you.
I seen, from what I seen, the guy relies too much on his head movement. He got great head defense, but you didn't see none, or he didn't even flash it as much as other opponents in the past. So he couldn't beat Terrence Crawford to the stance. So he kept on crossing those legs. If you really pay attention to the fight, Canelo was paying more attention to where he was landing these feet before he was even throwing his basic jab. And whenever he was throwing his jab, he was landing and opening some positions so he could, make a counter or set up a combo. But yet again, he wasn't for sure like certain. And from what I seen, because I had to put the whole fight in mute, I had a whole like it took me a few days. I'm saying to watch this fight as just a whole as what we call as the street signs, as breaking it down
Hey,
technical.
well, I mean, listen, that's interesting opinion right there, but maybe based off of that, they'll do a rematch. You never know. We recently posted a video where I gave my thoughts, post fight thoughts, and in a little bit more detail. And you know what? It never fails. Sometimes a fighter will lose, and he'll go, I was like, they start beating themselves over the head about it. And then they start thinking, well, maybe if I change this, maybe if I change that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a rematch. Now, I wanted to ask you this, because I haven't been following this too closely. I see people in the chat are saying that maybe Crawford should fight Benavidez. Some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. Is that actually something that's being pushed, or what's going on there?
No,
I
I
hope
don't.
Oh, that's
Bowman
based
just.
off of Turkey asking if
yeah,
Benavidez could still make 168. It was too vague to even say
Yeah.
anything.
Hmm.
And
yeah.
Bomac said no. Apparently, Bomac doesn't want it. And I don't think it should even happen. In my opinion, I
Bomac
think I
said
would like to see
already. My bad.
what he say. What he say.
Bud himself
Bomac
said no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bomac said already he's not interested in entertaining that fight.
yeah. That's what
First
I
and
said.
foremost,
Yeah.
let's be real. David is something in his own way. Okay, he's a boxing bully. I'm gonna say it that much.
Oh, wait a
If
minute.
he was to go down to 168, you
Yeah.
have
No.
to
No.
put a hydration cause, like rehydration cause, on that guy. It's specifically, and if he goes over the rehydration, call off the fight. So it's not even worth to even entertain a David Benavidez fight with Crawford. In all reality, because let's face it, Crawford, he didn't look light when he came in the fight with Canelo. The guy did not look light. Everybody thought that he was gonna drop weight, whatever. The guy looked like he was there. He's like, I'm gonna absorb as much as I can, and he did his thing. I'm not gonna take nothing from Crawford, but him versus David, that's just a bit too
No. It's
much.
pointless.
David,
No.
Well, I
you
got a
know,
question about that though. I got a question because again, when I saw Crawford and Canelo, even in the pre-fight during the week, I would look at them staring at each other, and I go, they were doing the face-offs. I go, they're the same size, but I want to wait until they get in the weigh-in. And then by the time of the ceremonial weigh-in, I said, yeah, these dudes are about the same size. Maybe Canelo's a little bit thicker around the neck, maybe the legs. Although Crawford, I didn't even really realize he's got thick legs too. He's got not quite the Filipino calves, but he's got some strong trunks. So if he's about the same size as Canelo, and everyone was pushing for Canelo to beat or to fight Benavidez, why not Crawford? But at the same time, as soon as Benavidez moved up to 175, I said, well, he's in another division, so that Canelo fight is bye-bye. So I don't think Crawford's under any obligation to do that. But weight-wise, if anybody says, oh, he's too small, he's the same size as Canelo, and people were pushing. Some people are still pushing for him to fight Benavidez. So why not? I mean,
Yeah.
weight-wise,
Yeah.
yeah.
People are making it out to be as Crawford beat this again. This giant. Uh, But Pacquiao eventually he had obviously multiple fights at welterweight, and I didn't hear anybody say, "Oh, the small guy is fighting at welterweight now." Oh, the small guy fighting another welterweight. Oh, the small. They stopped mentioning he was small because I guess they just realized this guy can fight at welterweight, right?
Well, in the build-up
Uh,
to the fight on Fight Week, Bucho, they stopped saying that he was a smaller guy, and now they started talking about acclimatization. Well, okay, they might be the same size, but he's not acclimated to it. Canelo's been fighting longer, so they sort of moved the goalposts that way.
Yeah, because we just had Pacquiao at 45 or some shit, like 46, 45, 46, fight a titleist in Mario Barrios. Uh, Nobody's mentioning, oh, Pacquiao, he started at 112, right? It's like people have forgotten about that because, this guy is a welterweight now. So I'm thinking here, Crawford, is he really that small for 168?
I don't think so.
Is he really that small?
I think he
So,
could still compete at
yeah.
168. You know what? That's what I said in the video, Bucho and guys. That's what I said in the video. I think the worst thing Crawford could do right now. Let's talk about where he goes from here. Fuck the pound for pound discussion. Maybe we'll revisit it later. But I think the worst thing Crawford could do is go back down in weight. What do you guys think?
yes,
I think he
yes.
should.
I think he should stay at 168. In reality, why do I say this? Because in all reality, in my opinion, the way I seen it and the way I came up in the boxing game while I was boxing outside of Oakland in California,
Hmm.
you had to climb up the rankings. You didn't just have to oh, you get a shot now. Now you go undisputed. To me, call me old fashioned or whatever, but that's the way I was taught by one of my greatest coaches that I had in my lifetime. So I mean, to me, he taught me, all right, man, look, if you want to do this, you want to get the golden gloves, this is what you got to do. Bam, 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 bam. And once I completed it and did what I did, I mean, it was so much rewarding instead of waiting for the big cheese and be like, oh, I'm here now and waiting, and then hoping that I can win or outland or like I said, I mean, there's a lot of ways to win in boxing. It's just how you know how to utilize your equipment, your skills that you have. And sometimes you can outshine people with the skills, but that doesn't necessarily mean like if we were to put Crawford in the ring for say, for example, with a fighter like what's his name? Plant. Uh Plant. And Plant, like in reality, the guy has skills. He had power too, but it wasn't as efficient as like other 168s. But if you were to put him with Plant and Crawford, it will be an interesting fight. Why do I say that? Because if you really look at it, the closest fight second to Floyd Mayweather that Canelo has faced happens to be Plant. Why do I say that? He almost mimicked a perfect shoulder roll like Floyd Mayweather, and he applied that in that fight. What did Canelo do? He was pulling down the hand, opening his shots. If you really look at all that stuff, you know. So to me, it's like that would be an interesting fight that I would like to see Crawford defend his belts now and not move down. I wouldn't want him to move down. Me personally, it's like now you're there, now face the challenges that you have to. And I don't see
Yeah.
no more than two fights from Crawford from now on. I'll tell you the truth. I think he's just ready to retire from this point on.
Well, what else? He's 38, right? So I think he just wants big fights at this point. So to expect this guy to start defending those titles at 168, something he has never done, like we just mentioned before, he never defends his undisputed titles. So why would he do it now at 38?
Well, the good thing is that
Oh.
we have Turkey El Sheik, and he's gotten a lot of flack in the build up to this fight. But if anybody can make the Crawford's last two fights happen against big names, it's the Turkey El Sheik. He'll put up the big bucks to make sure that happens. The question is against whom? The logical.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
think it's
well,
gonna
we
be a
have to
rematch.
take into consideration it's perhaps Hamza Shiraz, which Turkey's going to be pushing. I know he's not the big name of the division, but he is a more popular rising name in the division. I think that should suffice. Him fighting Shiraz.
I think it'll
What,
be a dangerous fight.
what do you mean?
I I think the guy got speed and he got power. That's a dangerous fight. It's like that young dude. I forgot his name, but he fought that. I think it was like the first fight in the undercard. Um, that fight. God, I forgot those guys' names. I threw away the paper that I had when I was doing my scorecards. But that one. He was wearing green. I believe it was the first fight in
Are
the
you talking about
undercard.
Hamza Shiraz versus Amo Williams?
No, it was against that kid Crawford. What's it called? Travis Crawford versus
Okay.
that one other guy.
Okay.
Um, I'm, but the guy had speed. The guy had everything else, and I also remember he kind of reminded me more of the way that he moved around the ring was like kind of more like a Triple G because Abel Sanchez was able to work on his defense and his offense as well. So it was a good fight, but yet again he had that snap. The kid, as young as he is, he had that snap every time he threw a jab. He knew how to control the ring with just a jab or just parry some jabs away or some whatever the case may be. But he was able to be controller of of the fight. And to me, it's like that new guy that Turkey's going to be pushing. I feel like he could be a dangerous fighter for Crawford because of the speed and the power he got.
Well, I'm curious now then, because again, if Crawford goes down in weight, it could be detrimental to him. We've seen other fighters in the past attempt to do so, and then the fall comes hardest after the rise. So for him to go back to 154, he would need to cut weight, and at his age, I don't know. I know he's got Victor Conte his corner, but you just never know. Now here's my question: Canelo gave him a shot at the titles, right, to make that big drama event happen, big drama show. Should Crawford do the same and now give somebody else a shot, whether it be a Virgil Ortiz, a Hamza Shiraz, or a Jaron Ennis?
What's up to
Should
him?
he? Yeah.
But what I'm
You know,
saying
it
is,
was up to Canelo to give Bud the chance, and he did. But it was up to Canelo. So now it's up to Bud.
Yeah. I honestly I feel like he should. So it's like what Floyd did. I mean, he didn't lose to Canelo, but he was like, "Hey, Canelo's is the next great thing. The next hottest thing after me." So it's like passing down the torch type deal to see like, okay, this is gonna be the champion that you guys are gonna have to face if you want these belts. I feel like he should, but like the gentleman said earlier, it's really up to Bud because everything's on his corner at this point. Everything from this fight. If Turkey's able to continue making fights with Crawford, don't expect nothing less than $100 million guaranteed for Bud. In all reality,
I don't know if this is. Do we have Kevin from Chicago, aka K Dog, on the air here? Who's Johnny Walker?
Yeah, that's him.
Sir, I'm maxing out a Lunchable right now, but I'm still listening. Give me a minute.
He's eating a Lunchable. Is that what he said? What the hell's a Lunchable? Isn't that what little kids eat with the crackers
Yup.
and the
Yeah,
ham?
that's the little kid's lunch stuff.
I like how he just threw it out there. I imagine him. He's outside the court. 'Cause, you know,
What? Let me guess. You have a Danimals with that Lunchable too, right?
oh man, that sounds kind of
No,
good
this
right now.
is right.
All right, now.
Pete's Lunchable?
Oh, pizza Lunchable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best one. Listen to him.
Absolutely.
K Dog is living it up large. Now, listen, I wanted to say this. Ask you this rather. What do you think is going to be Crawford's next move, most likely move? You think he's going to rematch Canelo? You think he's going to fight Hamza Shiraz? Does the Sheik have a say? Or is he going to let Crawford do whatever he wants? What do you guys think? What's the most likely outcome here?
I think the Sheik is going to execute Crawford.
Oh, wait, what?
Hamza Shiraz is going to do exactly what the meme that I posted a couple months ago implies. And Shiraz is going to decapitate Terrence Bud Crawford, and that'll be the end of the Bud Crawford era at 168. And
But wait a
pound for
minute.
pound.
So the Sheik would have to, because I remember when the Sheik, after Crawford fought Madrimov, the Sheik was trying to shop some fights around there, 154, and he said Crawford's not terribly interested in any fight other than Canelo. Like even back in late 2024, he was already dead set on Canelo. So after that, can he get it up? In other words, for anybody for anybody that's not Canelo.
I don't think Turkey's going to give him a choice.
Oh,
I don't think the sanctioning bodies are going to give him a choice.
so you're
Money
saying
talk, man.
that Turkey Al Sheikh doesn't take no for an answer, especially on the first date.
He did. I mean, he said, like he imagine this. Turkey Al Sheikh does this fight, giving Bud Crawford this favor, getting him this fight, right? Because we all know that Bud Crawford was really signed a hell of a lot earlier. I mean, wasn't he technically like with Turkey a little bit with that Majmov situation?
Yeah, he
Before,
was with, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
before.
I really believe that Turkey is building in this Hamza Shiraz situation because that's who he wants to be on top, and I think Crawford shaking up the apple cart here.
All right, but hold on, Telkins, let me understand something.
I think it brings up absolute. We need to bring up that Hamza Shiraz will decapitate. Terrence Crawford. Bro.
But hold on, Telkins, let me understand this because you know all about, like, you read a lot about the warrior mindset, particularly Indian literature. You seem to know about nutrition too, as well, from what I've gathered from you. What do you think Crawford should do? What do you think he should do? Should he stay at 168 and fight the best 168 pounders, or should he move down? And if he does move down, could that be detrimental to his health?
You know, I really think that if he moves back down, he's going to face the same issues that Roy Jones Jr. had. You know, whenever you go up and down in weight, right? Your punch resistance is different. Like when you go up in weight and then you go down, your punch resistance is going to be thrown the fuck off. And you lose your punch resistance bit by bit every time they do this. Even when they're water manipulation or whatever the fuck it is. I wish this person would stop going in and out of the server here. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Yeah, every fighter's different.
It seems like an interesting one, man. What's that?
Every fighter's different. It's like when people talk about boxing and you shouldn't box because you're gonna stutter, you're gonna be like Ali. But man, I've seen so many fighters that brawled all their life and they got their shit together and they're fine. I've seen other fighters that slur, and it's just everybody's body is different. You know what I mean? And with Bud, he's aging slow, and Canelo was Canelo was shot. I've been saying he's shot. He was really. We saw how over the hill he was. But Bud has. I don't know, man. It's just Bud's gotten good timing. He got Spence when Spence was like really really shot, and I
Uh-oh.
think he got Canelo when Canelo was pretty damn shot.
Interesting. Now people are gonna
I don't
call
know
you.
if Canelo
We know
shot.
you're not a Canelo fan, but that's the way people look at it. If you don't give one guy his props, that means the people think in binary. Either you give this guy his props and you're okay, or if you don't, you're a hater. So there's some people crying right now in the chat, crying about hating and whatnot. So they're gonna call you a hater, Southpaw, even though we know you're not a
Yeah, I
Canelo
mean,
fan. So
no, yeah, I don't like Canelo, but yeah, he was. I've been, but I've been saying he's been shot. I've been saying that's why he's been cherry picking. Like, if you look at his last 5 opponents after he lost, and even his 168 run, it was a weak division, so of course he's gonna look like gold. So I think that he hit a wall, man. Every fighter has that odometer, man, and his finally came. It
hey,
happens
by
to
the way,
Hold
everybody.
on, hold on. I got a rebuttal. Is he shot or he's just not willing to go out in the shield? Like you see with that Triple G fight, he was willing to walk through fire. I feel like now he knows he's gonna have his loyal fans show up. He's getting paid, so what's the point? Why is he gonna risk brain cells, risk damage when he doesn't have to? I mean,
Yeah,
almost the decision anyways.
nah, you could see where he wanted to do things, but it was just that split second of that he lost that timing. Like, did you saw when Terrence Crawford was turning his head with those shots that when Canelo was real good at rolling with shots, right? So when you saw him try to roll with the shot and Terrence still cracked him, and you could see it just took that little split second loss of timing and the punches landing with full force. So I think he's just it happens to every fighter, man.
hey, by
It's
the
just
way, real
all the
quick, sorry
time.
to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, but Christopher Lewis keeps crying in the chat about hating and all that. He says, "Y'all." He keeps saying, "Y'all." Y'all wasn't saying this before the fight. You were saying that before the fight, Southpaw. You were
I
one of
was
the
saying
only
this
ones.
way before.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were
saying
one of
because
the only
I'm
ones.
saying he never wanted to fight Benavidez, and there was 101 excuses. But I think that, and I'm saying it's just the passing of the guard. Floyd Mayweather started this trend where the old fighters are not going to give the young fighters a shot no more, and Canelo followed suit. So I think that's just what it is, man. It's like, and I'm happy. I'm happy Crawford won. I really like Crawford. I'm not a fan of him, but I don't like Canelo and all the way he moves. So I was happy to see Crawford win.
Well, there you
You
go.
know
What's
why?
up?
You know why he didn't fight Benavidez? Because if he fights Benavidez, there's a chance he's going to get knocked out. He's going to get beat down. He's going to take serious damage. So he
I don't
Interesting.
think he'll
chose
get knocked
Crawford.
out. Canelo's chin is too good, bro. Like I think he'll get. I think he'll be embarrassed by getting beat up by Benavidez, and he
And I'm
doesn't want to
right,
pass. He doesn't like the guy, so he doesn't want to pass that torch because Benavidez it would be the kind of like, hey, this is the new Hispanic dude on the block. You know what I mean? So he didn't want to give that to him.
I
I
don't
don't
think he
think.
will be. I don't think Canelo. I think Canelo Benavides is more competitive
Yeah, it
actually
will be.
than
I think
because I mean he's not gonna walk down Canelo. Nobody can walk down Canelo. Why would Benavides be able to do it now? Why did he lose to Crawford? Well, that's a different style. It's not, Benavides is not gonna. It's not gonna fight like Crawford. I
but
mean Crawford
Crawford's
was moving
such
a
a
lot.
fine
If you look,
technician.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
go
a
for
fine
it.
technician. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So if you look at even the CompuBox numbers, you look at the first part of the fight. I mean, they're throwing like 7 shots per round, 13 shots a round. Like it's just ridiculous. Like nothing really happened. Uh, if he fights Benavides is going to be coming forward. He's a big target. Canelo's going to be throwing punches. Now, does he win that fight? I mean, I don't know. Now maybe he's really shot if you look at him. But still, I don't think it's going to be. He's going to get stopped.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
think it's going to happen.
Canelo would to go the distance. I don't think he's gonna be like Triple G. Like towards the end, you saw Triple G. Like, wow, this guy lost his step. You know what I mean? He really looked old his last few fights, but he still couldn't get. He still had that chin, and I think that's gonna be Canelo. If he loses to anybody, I don't think he's ever gonna get like what we saw with Roy Jones, where he just gets flattened. He's too good of he takes too good of a shot.
Have you guys noticed the angling now from the Crawford fans where before the fight they were talking a lot of shit about Canelo, but now they're trying to big him up as much as possible. It's like,
Right.
guys,
Well,
like we get it.
real
Y'all are
talk,
trying to big up.
real talk. Timothy Bradley said this is a prime Canelo now. So That's
Man,
why
that
he's out.
bald headed
Uh,
fuck. He was talking so much shit in the lead up.
Yeah, he
No,
said
I don't
Canelo's
blame the
slow,
guy.
Canelo's slow, Canelo's slow, and then he looked slow. He didn't even, there's a point in the fight. Remember, guys, when Crawford's on the ropes, and then Canelo throws a right hand, like he telegraphs that shit so bad. Not even he doesn't even
Oh,
try to feint.
I know
Yeah,
him
that right hand. He
fucking
just
punches
throws
fucking
it,
How old
and
is
then
Canelo?
34.
35.
It's
35,
34,
35.
34.
35.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not that he's slow, washed up. It's that he doesn't got the fire he used to. He's don't got nothing to prove. That's what it
I think
is.
that's
yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't,
I think
I
that's.
wouldn't, I wouldn't
Crawford
say
because
he's physically
he could
shot.
skate
Yeah,
to a decision. He might lose a decision. So what? With Benavidez, he's gonna have to be in a dogfight. When you fight
yeah.
Benavidez, you're gonna go in there and you got to go all out to survive. You're not gonna be able to skate and do this little shuck and jive like you did with Crawford. That's why I
Yes,
fought
but
Crawford.
Canelo likes that, and Benavides is not Crawford who can pepper you with little shots and that crowd screaming and yelling, yeah, and then he gets around because he's like doing that Sugar Ray Leonard against Hackler type of thing, right? This is what happened. He's peppering Canelo. Canelo's fucking tired. His mouth's open and shit, breathing through the mouth, and the crowd's yelling and screaming. You have Kellerman and Andrew Ward. You know how they are, right? Like just, oh my god, amazing. And so that's how
Do you
Crawford
notice
won the
how
fight.
all these social media channels on YouTube, they're all using the same highlights from the 12th round of the fight?
In the ninth
Yup.
To
round as well,
justify that Crawford dominated every round or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, and the ninth round as well. They were great rounds for Crawford because again, Canelo was fucking tired, fucking slow. He couldn't even trade with Crawford because he was too slow. Yeah,
and
and
you
these
can
are
see
the
it. You can
highlights
see
that
it
they
in his
take.
face. Do you remember? There's like two times when Canelo got hit. Like one time with the jab, and the other time when he tried to spin and he didn't spin in time because he lost that timing. But there's a couple like when he got hit with the jab in one sequence, he pretty much just walked to the side like resetting with that look on his face, like fuck, like I can't like he
Yeah,
looked
yeah, he
just
was looking at the
frustrated
ground.
because his body like it just happens to all the fighters, man. His body just you lose that split second and that's it. That you're getting hit. When
Well, by the
before
way,
you
If
have
I'm
Canelo.
Canelo, I'm stopping the drinking. I'm stopping all that
He's not
shit.
yeah, who says he's an alcoholic? I don't
no,
understand.
there's people
I
that
think
do say
you know what? I think I don't know. A lot of people were praising Canelo for sparring with Sanis. Like I think he should have sparred with junior welterweights and welterweights because I think the
but
speed was going to become a factor.
Well,
Yeah, a factor.
Ennis technically Ennis fights at junior middleweight, but we all know, like, look at the size of him. The guy was a super
Yeah,
middleweight.
but I'm talking about
but
like
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. So
guys.
you're right.
Fast guys.
You're right. He should have been sparring welterweights. But I want to say this though about that fight. Somebody in the chat on the Discord said that Crawford was about to stop Canelo before the headbutt intervened, and I'm thinking
Oh
it's not
Lord.
enough. It's not enough that he won. These people are obsessed. They're trying to find meltdowns from Mexicans. They're trying to find people making excuses. They're trying to go with the racism route. It's like people are too delicate out there, man. People gotta toughen up.
No, then what's crazy is all
I've
these
given
channels that have
Crawford
been
credit.
talking shit about Canelo for years. It's like y'all hate Canelo so much, but here y'all are still profiting off of his name and his fan base by talking all your
It's a
shit.
well, no,
grift.
Well, they're gonna be yelling racism when Hamza Shiraz decapitates their boy.
Yeah.
Go on. Hey, but by the way, I want to
No,
say
but
something else.
we've given Canelo credit. I don't. Sorry, Canelo Crawford credit. I've given him credit. I think he won the fight. No excuses, no egg weights, no floppy gloves. I've said it multiple times. So I don't know what these people want from me.
No gypsy ghost. Hey, but by the way, I want to say something else too about that. First of all, don't remind me to ask you a question about the event itself and the gate and all that. Um,
Canelo
but
won fair and square.
hey, you're interrupting me. Now listen, I want to say this. I am a little bit of a pet peeve. I want to reiterate because I don't think anyone else has been saying it other than myself, maybe two other people. The fucking festivities before the fight, before the main event, they have to stop, man. Cut it down. One video package, the entrance, that's it. Because when they said there wasn't going to be any national anthems, I was like, okay, cool. They're going to get them straight into the ring like they do in the UFC. No. We had some fucking drummers from Pantera, or I don't know what it was, Saliva. I don't know what band it was. They're doing a little drum solo, and the guy's doing his electric guitar playing.
Wasn't it Tool?
Tool, yeah, thank you, Tool. Well, I felt like a tool sitting there watching this fucking thing at close to 1 a.m, saying, get it on already, fuck. And then I had to do a post-fight show after that, so I just want this shit to end as
Bro,
quickly as
that's
possible.
fucking Turkey, bro. Turkey wants his fucking entertainment, bro.
And then they had 5 video packages, this and that. So I'm please, Turkey Al Sheikh, if you're taking us down a census or whatever from boxing fans, stop with the fucking video packages. Stop with the concerts. We want boxing. That's what we're watching. And I don't think the people in the
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. No, but I think that was only because they were putting on the UFC Noche and they were waiting for that to finish. I don't think they're going to be doing that from now on.
No,
hopefully. But they do it all the time, man. They do it at all the big events. They did it with Crawford Madrimov. They did it with... Actually, they didn't do it with Bivol Beterbiev, did they?
They did it with Fury Usyk.
They did it with Fury... Yeah, okay. They did it with Fury Usyk. And let me tell you a little personal story. I woke up at 5:55 a.m. on Saturday to do a pre-fight show, pre-morning show. I stay up for the fights. Then I do the post-fight open phone show, call-in show. It was 4 a.m. I'd been up for 23 hours, no caffeine. Well, actually, I had stopped the caffeine after 5 p.m. So I was fucked, and then I had to get up 2 hours later to watch the Inoue fight, which I did. So give me my props. I got up to watch that fight.
That's some fucking dedication.
And I still haven't recovered. So no, if anybody out there does the same thing that we do here broadcasting, do not do a morning show on a fight and then stay up after the fight to do a post-fight show because you will be screwed up. I was dreaming that it was in the jungle and that I was chasing down zebras and gazelles.
There's times when I'm up for 2-3 days at a time, BDA. So don't feel bad about that.
Yeah, but that's because
but you're not in your 50s like BDA.
No, wait a minute. Dude, come on, wait a minute. 50s.
DA. Assassin. They're not trying to gas up this win, really? Come on. Canelo's not the same fighter. He's not the same fighter he was.
I didn't say that before the fight, and I'm not going to start saying that, but Southpaw's one of the few guys who did say it, so I guess he can say it. But everyone else, if you say it, then you're going to be considered a hater, a racist, and possibly a mass shooter. Recognize, you want to say something?
Well, that's too bad because facts are facts. Canelo been there and done that. He's got nothing else to prove.
Well, yeah, because people were saying that, Canelo's not stopping. They're saying Canelo's not stopping Munguia because he's friends with them, and he didn't want to. He just wanted to coast versus Berlank. I'm like, that's bullshit. Fighters want to get the job done and go home early. You don't get paid overtime. He couldn't do it. Like I've been saying, but it's weird seeing the Crawford fans because you'll hear that at one breath they're saying how bad Canelo shot, but then they'll turn around and say Crawford is at all time is the GOAT. It's crazy, but Crawford was the underdog, so a lot of these guys they didn't want to make any predictions. They were quiet, they were silent. But now that he won, they're like, oh yeah, they're like out there boasting. And he's got a weird fan base, man, because you remember like a lot of the people that are basing it on race, a lot of them hated him because they were pro LDBC, they were pro PBC, they were tearing his name down because when Spence was his rival. They were like, oh, he's a coon, he's this. They were calling him all kinds, tearing him down. He never fought nobody. But now a lot of them are kind of jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, yeah, this Bud. Like, it's crazy, bro.
What do you think about that?
Thank you for bringing that up, Southpaw. Thank you.
In $100 million paydays for how long? Crawford, he only got paid $10 million or whatever it was for this fight. I think it was more than that. But
50.
It was like 50.
What I'm saying is Crawford.
A Polish guy. Let me speak.
Yeah, let recognize. Let recognize fucking thing.
He doesn't got the cash though. He doesn't got the. He's done the clout. Someone
what
like
the fuck is he talking about?
All right. Yeah, guy, recognize. Go in.
Recognize this dick, bitch.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he left. You fucking ran him out of the.
He ran him out.
Oh, come on.
Weirdo.
I wanted to ask, I never bought that whole thing that Crawford's only getting paid $10 million. I never bought it. I mean, he was probably gonna get more, the back end, whatever. And that's what brings me to the question: how did this event apparently did very well, right? I think 40 million people watched it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Less than the female fucking card. Whoever, I don't know who fought there.
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, Serrano. Yeah.
How much did Jake Paul get? 100 million plus.
No, but wait a minute. That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, watch him and Tank Davis. Watch him and Tank Davis do insane numbers, and then all the Tank fans go around saying, "Oh, Tank's now the face of boxing." because he's then included with the biggest pay or whatever event the Netflix is going to put on. How many viewers or whatever.
Hmm.
Men
Well, hold
lie,
on.
women lie, numbers don't lie. Jake Paul, the face of boxing.
Hey, but wait a minute. What if somebody? What if somebody doctored the numbers?
Yeah. What do you say about that?
I mean, Tank Davis's numbers lie all the time.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That's a good point.
Now, I wanted to
What we
clarify
say
this
about
though. I want to clarify this. Hold on. I want to clarify. I want to clarify this. The women's fight, I think it was Serrano versus the Irish gal. That was on the Tyson Jake Paul undercard.
I know,
So-
and they count it as one of the old time.
Exactly.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Yeah, look it up. You can see
No, I think that's a
this.
separate. I think that's a. Was that not a separate fight?
Well, it was a
Yeah,
rematch, right, or something like that.
the rematch.
card.
No, was it a rematch?
Yeah.
No, it was
Are you
the same
talking about the
card.
undercard? You said the one that's on undercard because I know they had like a.
Hey, you guys hear me? It's
Had
the
a
same
Yes, we
main
can
event.
hear
Yeah,
you.
go ahead.
Recognize.
Yeah, go ahead.
dog. It's my
Let
dog.
recognize going. Guys, please, quiet. Recognize.
Yeah, I feel like you guys got me on the pay no mind list.
Yeah. What the fuck?
No, I was gonna say that it was the same card. Sorry about that. Those are my son. That's my son and his friends. Loud motherfuckers.
Yeah, if
We're gonna,
they
we're
would have
gonna
had
mute your mic.
the
if you
fight
don't-
earlier, they would have had probably way more viewers. That shit was on way too late.
I'm getting disrespected all over the place.
Okay, no,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
Recognize, because I don't know, because it was your turn to talk, and then all of a sudden your kids started attacking you or something. Go ahead, man.
No. That was my son and his friend. Yeah. Well, all right. Really quick. Serrano versus whatever the girl is, whatever her name is, the other chick, right?
Uh-huh.
That was under the Tyson Paul fight.
Right.
They were showing the date. Netflix was actually showing the same date. I'm like, wait a second. But that would be an undercard then, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. This is pathetic. They got it over. They got it over.
Way they're trying to count that as
Canelo and Crawford.
Yeah, that's
at
like
40. Whatever it was. Yeah.
You
So
know
they
what?
made
Listen,
Canelo and Crawford look bad.
I'm putting it up here. I'm putting it up on the screen for the people in the chat. It says September the 13th, 2025, Canelo vs. Crawford, 41 mil. Then they go Taylor Serrano 2, November the 15th, 74 mil. And then they go Paul versus Tyson, the same date, November the 15th, 125 mil. So that's it. That's like if I'm in Billy, for example, and let's say I want to fight Crawford. And then I go, or no, somebody else, or some other fighter, and I go, hey man, my fight got 20 mil viewers. How much did yours get? Yeah, but you were fighting on the Canelo Crawford undercard. It's not, people didn't pay to see you necessarily. That it was more over, yeah.
Nobody cares about you, Billy.
and on
Yeah.
the first of the night. These fuckers try to be slick, huh?
They're scammers.
You know what? They should change the name
Now,
from
I have a
Netflix.
question for people who know about this shit. Is this a
Netflix.
success for Netflix? Are they gonna keep putting on boxing shows based off of this? Or is it a good sign or no? 41 million.
I
Like,
thought it would
how do you
have.
gauge?
You know
I sure
something,
hope
Bucho? I thought it would have done better because I guess I looked at Tyson
Yep.
and Jake Paul's numbers and said, well, Canelo and Crawford would do better than that.
I think you're right.
Yep.
You're right. In comparison, you're expecting a little bit more. Like one. So
I think
Tyson,
Tank and Jake Paul does better than all of them.
Yeah,
Here's the
what do
thing,
you
though. We don't know.
yeah,
the
no,
numbers.
yeah. It should do more than. Sorry, but Paul Tyson should do more than Canelo Crawford. I agree with that, but by that much,
Right. It did by like
125.
80. What did it did? Like 80 million more?
the 80, yeah,
Yeah. That's
80,
a lot.
more than 80
though.
million.
Well,
That's a lot.
we also got to take in fact though too, like how many people are actually Pierce boxers fans versus the casual fans. In reality, if you think about it, man, Jake Paul got a lot of casual fans.
Casual fans. That's true. That's true.
You
Yeah.
know,
True.
His social media. I think his social media. I saw some type of post like when you combine, it's something like 40 million people. Then
Well,
you got
okay,
Mike
recognize.
Tyson. on top of
You
that.
bring up you
Call
bring
me
up an
crazy.
interesting
I think
point.
the rematch. I think the rematch would do more than 41 million.
Well,
There's
you
a
guys
lot
bring
of
up a.
factors, man.
I
You
think
guys
the
listen,
rematch
listen.
will do more
People
than
know
41.
Crawford now, right? More people know
Exactly.
who Crawford is. Yeah.
Yeah. But
The
how
fight
much?
the
I don't
fight was
know.
super late. They had a UFC card the same night. It's college football season, so there's a lot of people doing that on Saturday. There's a lot of things why it did way more, but I think mostly it's the time. They just did it way too late. And I was asking sports bars, I'm like, hey man, Netflix, you gonna have the fight? Because I like to go watch it around casuals with like a big crowd. And they were saying no because they still have to pay that crazy amount of money as if it was a pay per view. I'm like, so that's what threw me off.
Whoa,
I
that's
thought it wasn't going to
true.
be like that. So a lot of places didn't show it.
That's true, man.
Hey,
What
Right.
the
The
fuck?
Southpaw,
bars
you went to a bar and they
you're right.
charged you?
But no, that
No,
when I was asking places if they were going to show it, they said some places were like no because it's like the pay per view thing. They have to pay like a lot. They have to pay like a big ass lump to just have it, even though it's Netflix.
Oh,
Now wait a
that
minute. Now
bar
wait a
is cheap,
minute. Who was it?
bro.
Who was it that? Who was it? Somebody called in one time, and they said that they actually went to a gay bar once to watch a fight. You guys remember who that was?
Yeah, that was you,
And it
no?
was El Paraco.
I said somebody who called in recognized. How the fuck am I gonna
Oh,
call in my own
oh, oh!
show?
I thought. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that part. I thought you were talking about yourself. But no.
So hold that weak, yeah, I'm tearing that ass up. Cause he loved to ride him and he loved to suck him. And after I was done, I let my homeboys fuck him.
Oh wait a minute. What?
Yo, guys, some of the Crawford fans in the chat are going crazy here. It's like
But
this guy called Ryan Jackson. Bud Crawford get all the Mexican women he wants.
Well,
there
there's
you go. That's it.
well, there's a lot of fat Mexican women. There's a lot of
he's
fat
gonna
Mexican.
get the he's gonna get the Timothy Bradley type of wife.
Oh, come on. Well, that's
You're gonna
well.
get the
He
one-
likes them. He likes them thick, right? Nothing wrong with that. He likes them thick. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, there's a lot of thick Mexican women out there. In fact, I think for a while there, I think the Mexicans in the United States were the unhealthiest out of any other ethnic group. Even more than the Afro Anglos. And you know how they like their treats. But
Maybe
anyway, listen.
he ain't no prick. And she always calls suck. No, I'm joking.
I didn't even get the reference.
Yeah, we call them tortas. Y'all call them tortas up there? That's what we call
Tortas
them up
or
here.
Yeah,
heifers.
that's what I'm saying, the
Tortas
chat.
or heifers, yeah. But
I've been wanting to get a T-shirt that says "Certified Torta Pounder," man. I want one of those
Well,
when I go out.
I've said it before. Tortas are good for sloppy blowjobs and laundry duty. You can put them on the
No, I thought
rotation.
they call them big bags.
They're the best
I thought
freaks, man. The pretty
they call them big
ones just
bags.
sit there and do nothing. Those goes to work.
Well, not all of them, but you need to
No,
look at
here's
their.
the thing with Crawford. He's got a real one who's been with her from the jump, so you can't hate on that.
No, he dumped her. He dumped her. He
Crawford.
dumped her.
Crawford stepped out, man. He's got
Yeah.
a side kid now.
I thought he's been with her from the jump.
No,
Yeah, he
no,
has,
no.
but
Probably not lately.
yeah,
Okay,
he
I
had a
wanted to-
side kid.
Hey, fellas, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out. I wanted to bring
Hit the
this up.
like. 41 likes. 41 likes. They get to 60
Hit
likes.
the fucking
60.
like.
But
I
can I,
wanted-
say
There you
something
go.
on both on characters of both fighters?
Sure.
Maybe it'll calm down some of the guys that are fighting about race wars in the chat. One thing I respect about both guys, and I've always gave Canelo
Oh my
props for
God.
this, man. He represents Mexicans in a good way. You know, he's a good representative of the people. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. He reps Mexico hard. I give him props. You know, because I'm Mexican of Mexican heritage. So I like seeing that.
All of a sudden,
Mexican heritage.
BDA, right?
No.
I'm a-
I've always said that about Canelo, but he reps Mexico hard. You know, like, but
you.
check it out. But the thing I give Bud props on is he broke the cycle. Now he doesn't act like Tank Davis. He doesn't act like a hoodlum because we saw like a lot of the fighters that were black, that were popular. They'd be thugs, and the nice guys like Ward and
Wait a
Bradley,
minute.
they didn't have fans. So he broke code and it actually worked.
They were riding
And
with Spence.
He's a
Hold
good
on.
guy.
Let me pump the brakes on that right there on that claim, dude. Did you see that video of him where him and a group of thugs walk into a mechanic shop because he doesn't want to? His guy's a world champion boxer at this point, so it's not a question of money. He walks into the mechanic shop and he doesn't like what the dude did or whatever. He refuses to pay the guy. Right? They all press up on him. They intimidate him. They like basically steal his car back, and he never pays the guy. And that shit was on the news, right? And you think you think he got shot in the face because he's such a fucking nice guy?
No, I just like that he doesn't act. He doesn't. He never. He never. And he said it. I didn't have. I didn't bend the knee. I didn't sell my soul. I didn't have to act like a clown. Like
He
all
was
these other
holding the
guys.
turkey's
I mean,
hand. What do
nobody's
you mean?
perfect. Nobody's
Oh,
perfect.
He was holding the turkey's hand. What do you think he had to do for that? What do you think he had to do if he's letting the turkey hold his
I
hand,
mean
bro?
that's what Saudis
I don't
do,
want to
man.
know.
I've been to the Middle East
That's
a
what
lot, man.
Saudis do.
It's not gay to the whole. It's weird to us, but it's not weird to them. That's a sign of
You know
partnership.
what? How many times
hold
have
on,
we
man.
been?
Not only what
It's like slapping.
he
It's like
also
in
Now
sports
you
how
see
we slap
how
slap
he
each
is in
other's
fact bending the knee
You
and
sound
sucking him
like
off all over the place.
you sound like a
I don't know,
player.
but I like the way he carries himself. That's just all I gotta say. He's a good representation. He's a country boy. Like when you see Omaha, his crowd, there's
Ooh-wee.
white people, there's Mexicans, there's black people, and everybody's and you see like country farmer types that are there for him. I'm like, yo, you never see that. That's what I like about
Yeah.
Let
him.
me play the music
what
again.
event
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you never see that because there's nobody in the fucking crowd, dude. You're making shit up.
Dude, he's got a good crowd in Omaha. He sells that place out. He
Nobody goes
sells
see
that
the
place
guy. Yeah.
out.
All right, now listen. I wanted to say this, man. As it pertains to the event that Jake Paul versus whatchamacallit, Tank Davis. First of all, from what I'm hearing
Gervonta
now,
Davis.
yeah, I was reading the news and they're talking about how now it's going to be because again, there's such a weight discrepancy. That's a real weight discrepancy, by the way. That they don't really
I heard
want
it
to
was called
sanction.
off, BDA.
Well, that's what they're saying, right? That nobody wants to sanction the fight. Now they're saying that okay,
Well,
it might. Was that?
I was gonna say I think the head of the event planner in the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, he released a statement saying, just so people know, they've withdrawn the request for that date that they said that they're going to fight on because we're not going to approve. You know what I mean? Just so everyone knows that they're out here promoting something that's not going to happen because they've already
What?
requested their request for those dates, and
Interesting.
that they're not going to sanction. Like you said, the weight disparity is too great. They're not going to sanction that.
Well, from what I understood is that they're gonna change the location, and then now, by request of one of
Japan,
the
maybe.
by request, they're gonna have to change the size of the gloves. That's what I heard. So if they wear this, I don't know.
14-ounce gloves or some shit. Like what?
Well, if it's an exhibition, they could do 12, 14, yeah, or maybe even 16. I don't know.
Oh
But
man.
16.
Oh,
I mean-
16. Well, who's gonna watch that shit then?
well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Look, Tank Davis is borderline mainstream, right? He's borderline, but he really took his reputation really took a pounding after the whole Lamont Roach thing. Him taking a knee, going over to his corner, get his face and his ass wiped. They put some talcum powder on his ass, sent him to sleep. That and then no rematch. So that's really made him look bad. Now Jake Paul has his fans. They're interested in what he does, but the other problem is I was looking at some of the stats here, or trying to find some of the stats rather. I don't even think he did all that well in most of his pay-per-views, Jake Paul. I don't think he did well against Nate Diaz and against Tyron Woodley. Or even against Chavez. That's the other one I forgot. Chavez Jr. The big event was Tyson against Tyson, and maybe when he fought... who was the other dude that he fought that was a big thing? There was another one that he fought.
Silva?
That was a... Who?
Silva?
No, I don't even think that one did well. I gotta go check it out, man. But yeah, so what I'm wondering is, could that event really unseat Canelo Crawford, which did 41 million in viewership on Netflix? What do you guys think?
Somebody needs to mute. Please mute.
Don Jake.
My bad. I thought I had a mute. My bad.
Anyways.
Is Jake Paul, Tank Davis gonna do more than Canelo Crawford? More views?
Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor did more than Canelo Crawford, so I'd say yeah.
No, we debunked that shit. Apparently,
I mean,
that was in the
more
undercard.
consistent it gets. They should do more numbers. The more consistent they do on, and it's a train wreck. People want to see a train wreck.
It's
What's the
crazy.
name of the Jake
has
Paul?
more pull than most fighters. My bad, God.
Who is it?
What weight are they going to fight at?
Well, real quick.
It has to be open weight.
170? I don't know.
Can somebody remind me what's the name of that wrestler Jake Paul knocked out in one round? He was the guy with the goofy hair. He was the same guy that got knocked out by Masvidal with the knee.
Oh yeah.
Ben Askren.
Okay, Askren. I'm looking for the numbers. I don't know if the numbers are correct here. Again, I just Googled it, and Google gives you that AI synopsis, which I don't even know if it's true. But it says that that the promoters claim, so who knows if it's true. Jake and his promoter his Jewish promoter. No, I'm okay. Jake and his promoter claimed Jake and his promoter claimed 1.5 million
Buys.
pay-per-view buys. Jake and his promoter claimed 1.5. Okay, 1.5. But then check this out. Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley, 500,000 according to I don't know which source. The Woodley rematch, 200,000 buys. The Silva fight, 200 to 300,000, and then the Tommy Fury one estimated to be at 200,000, and the Nate Diaz fight, 550,000. Now we know what they mean when they say estimated. So even I remember the first Woodley fight was boring, and then the second one was boring too. Before Jake Paul ended up nuking the guy into oblivion. So it just seems
The
like
knockout was spectacular.
right. So it seems like even with his army of fans, they will only go so far to pay for something, unless it's an event. You know what I mean? Unless it's a guy that they really go, oh, well, we know that guy, like Mike Tyson.
BDA.
Yes.
It has to be someone who can sell it with him because that guy Ben Askren, he was talking a lot. You know, he was helping a lot with the promotion. A lot of people were behind him. So when that fight happened, he had a lot of he had his fans, right? His YouTube fans, and then he also had a bunch of MMA fans who were like pulling behind Ben Askren, right? Thinking like, all right, bro, teach this guy something. You know, he's over here embarrassing us and shit. So that's when it was still fresh. You know what I mean? When he was fighting MMA fighters, it was still fresh.
Right.
Yeah, now people are tired of that shit. So now
Yeah, like, all right, fight a
Yeah,
boxer. You know what I mean?
and the
Fought-
pay-per-view.
Yeah, that fake ass fight with Chavez Jr.
That shit
You want me
dying.
to find a boxer? I'm gonna find a midget.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting thing is he's making it out to be like people. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like he made that video where he goes, "People called me out. They said they wanted me to fight a real boxer. Here's Gervonta Davis," and they show him knocking out a bunch of people. Yeah, he's knocking out lightweights, and they're not even the best lightweights. So what the fuck does that? Like, I can't believe the goal of this guy. Yeah,
BDA, y'all gotta
Canelo-
remember, he was close to finalizing a fight with Canelo. So the dude's all over the place, you know.
exactly.
He was about to fight Canelo. It's weird. I don't know. I always like Jake, but like this fight, I don't like what he's doing.
Well, I mean, I don't dislike the guy all that much. I mean, he's a business guy. He's trying to make events out of this. I'm past the point where I look at this and I go, "Oh, this is bad for boxing. This is it's going to ruin boxing. Boxing is a cockroach. Boxing is a cockroach. He'll never go away. Never. It's
like really all the problems that boxing has, and you think that the big problem is because Jake Paul's fighting a fucking Tank Davis midget? No, that's not. That's
Yeah, I don't want boxing to be mainstream again. It sounds bad, but I don't want it to go under. I just want it to be like just relative enough to where there's platforms for it. Because when I went to that Tyson Jake Paul fight, and bro, that crowd, you'd be annoyed out of your mind being around casuals like that. The conversations they were having in the stands, the way they were into it in a weird way, not like in a way we would be into it. There were just a lot of weird people there, man, and it was.
Were they watching the undercard? Were they watching the undercard fights, or they just didn't give a fuck?
Yeah, they filled that place up at Cowboy Stadium, and everybody loved that fight. But man, I'm sitting in a section, and I'm like, there's people, you're close to people, and I'm like, man, these aren't regular boxing people, and it was annoying, man, to be honest.
Yeah, but do you think that
that's why the sport never grows?
But do you guys think casuals can start getting into boxing by watching the undercard, some of these circus main events?
Maybe.
No, this shit's boring, bro. The undercards are like shutouts. They're boring as shit.
Yeah,
but it's weird
you're right.
because
You need a good undercard.
UFC everybody's there from the first card on. I don't get it. I guess it's just a different crowd. I know, but
well, I'll say this, man. Bringing it back to the most important subject here, me. When I watch boxing, I started getting into boxing because my father would watch fights, and then I would watch them, and then I got addicted to boxing. But there were plenty of other things that he would watch that I never got into. So probably I would have gotten into boxing, excuse me, no matter what. So that's a good question that Bucho asked. These people that are watching these Jake Paul fights, maybe even if it's just a quarter of minority, how many of them are going to continue, excuse me, watching the fights?
It's too confusing, man. Boxing is way too confusing to follow. You know what I mean? That's why these casuals, it's easy to follow football. You just, my city, my team is playing every Sunday. They know. They put on their color and that's it. That's all. They don't got to do. They don't got to look into it. Boxing, you got to, what's the day? These guys don't fight enough. That's another problem. But you got like 4 titles, and they parade like it's a good thing having 4 titles. Oh, the best in the 4 belt era. That
I
just
think that's what
confusing. Why is there?
TKO is going to fix.
I mean, I
No,
hope. I wish, but it's impossible, man. How many people have tried?
it's not impossible.
How many people have tried to take over boxing?
They're going to.
I
Who?
mean,
Who?
even the fighters were going
Dana
against
White
it.
is gonna take Dana White and the Sheik.
Yeah, they will.
Maybe.
That's what they're pushing. That's what they're pushing for. With that Ali Act thing that they're doing. What it really is about,
Mm,
it's about them making up their own rankings. That's why they didn't invite the WBC, the WBA, or make a big deal of them being there. They've
right.
already done it. They're already pushing it. And the thing about it is that unlike Dana, the other boxing promoters,
Dana.
if you look back, what Dana White has in his pocket right now is his relationship with the president.
Yep.
That's why they're even going after that.
Bro, you know the president's hooking Dana White and the UFC up with government contracts? It's crazy, man. Trump's like hooking up
What?
all his boys.
I'm trying to
They- They're,
tell you. I'm trying
they're
to tell
training.
you.
They're
This is
training
it,
FBI agents because to
and,
make them more
and
quote unquote
do you
more able to handle themselves
so
in a hand to hand combat situation. That's really, hey, here's UFC. Here's a whole bunch of money just to like have these bullshit training sessions.
well,
Like it's
the
just
other thing that Dana White has in his pocket through the turkey is that they have the Ring magazine belt, which is
Yep.
going to really make it's going to really make the other belts obsolete, because what
Yeah,
they're going to
because
do is they're going to pay the most money to the best fighters. Those best fighters, like right now, Terrence Crawford could conceivably just drop all the belts and keep the Ring magazine.
yep.
So could Usyk, so could Inoue, right? So if they do that and just keep the Ring magazine, every other fighter that gets those belts after them will never be looked at as champions, and they're never
You're
going to
right.
get the money that they're going to make the money. They're going to get the money that that Turkey's people are going to get. That's how you make the change. It's a fundamental change. What they're doing is really fucking interesting, bro. But these
Well, I
guys,
like it.
What Al Heyman tried to do, but he was trying to do it funny money, because he was, stealing, whatever, because it was borrowed money.
Right.
But
And
this
he
is
tried to
not
make.
borrowed money.
Yeah,
The money's there.
you're
That's
right.
the
I mean,
The
I
difference.
money's
hope,
there,
man.
and the legitimacy through the ring
Exactly,
title.
of the Ring magazine.
But people
That's
don't
what
care,
could have
bro.
happened, and that's wait
No,
a
no, no.
minute,
It's
because
not that.
you just said that it couldn't happen because it's too confusing. That's exactly how it's going to get unconfusing,
Yeah, I
because
know,
if
bro.
they're
But
all
we're
just going to
talking
be
about
Ring
fighters
magazine,
and
that's it.
greed.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
man. I can't stand that no ass motherfuckers.
So can I just say this, please? The other thing is that you guys went back with the Crawford thing. That was not a hand. No, it's the fight with Canelo could never be a passing of the torch. Number one, primarily because of a few factors. What Crawford's age, number one. And
Yeah.
number two, he doesn't have a built-in fan base. And the reason why he doesn't have a built-in fan base is because he doesn't appeal to the people that would be his built-in fan base, because they like PVC type fighters, the guys that beat up their wives and go to jail and
Ah, wait a
listen.
minute.
And
Wait
he
a minute.
doesn't do any of that shit.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I don't think that's. I don't think it's. I
No,
mean,
no,
maybe
it
a little
is
bit,
that.
but
It is that. He doesn't appeal to thugs and lowlifes. He doesn't. He never did.
but
That's
now,
why. And
now,
he has white friends. That's the other thing.
yeah,
He has
but I
white
think
friends.
Crawford now has his stock went up. He's like considered the best boxer. Some people are saying one of the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
of all
but
time.
nobody's
I think
buying. That's you're conflating two things. It's not about being the best boxer. It's being and having an appeal to a fan base. That's two
right.
different things.
But do you think it's marketable? You can sell that now.
That's what I'm saying.
Crawford's
It's not
next. But
marketable.
he is, but it's too late now. It's too
Yeah,
late.
no, that's first.
exactly.
No, no. Listen. I
Exactly.
don't
Now
think
you said
anybody.
it.
I don't think anybody in their right mind thinks that Crawford's gonna have a long career from. I mean, he's 38, like somebody said. But I'm saying
Right.
his next fight. Can you sell his next fight as being this
If
great
I'll tell you,
boxer, that one of the best of all time?
that's a good thing. That's a good thing, you guys, because then it'll segue to the other thing with the Shiraz, right? Let's say he fights
Yeah.
Shiraz. That's marketable. But let's just say right now, what can realistically happen? Realistically, he's going to get at least a voluntary fight
Defense.
from Any of the belts. Doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna strip him for on his next fight. 'Cause they're all gonna give you a volunteer. That's what they usually do, right? So he takes that turn and he fights Shiraz. That's a big fight. That's a great fight. He could go to the UK. He could do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
That's also an easy fight for him. Shiraz can't beat him. You know why Shiraz can't beat him? Because he's gonna go through the same problems that he went through Adames. Adames beat that man. The reason he looked good, listen, the reason why he looked good against Berlanga is because the Berlanga's a bum.
Oh,
that's it. He's
Shiraz is
a,
too big, man.
he's a
Shiraz is
heavy
too
bag.
big.
Berlanga's a heavy bag. He was tailor made for Shiraz. But if he fights,
Crawford's not gonna fight him, bro.
Crawford, it's gonna be the same thing.
Let somebody else go in. Let somebody else
Don't
go in.
ever talk about Berlanga like that again. All right?
Oh.
No,
Don't ever.
he's never gonna fight Shiraz, man. Because all the other 168 and up fighters, they're way too big. Canelo was small for the weight division. He's been fighting bigger guys. Like, you know what I mean? He's like Pacquiao, Mayweather, fighting in a weight class that he can easily drop down like 2 below if he wanted to. So Canelo was reachable. Now he's gonna fight guys that much bigger. No, man, it's not. The
I know,
dimensions
but
are
for the volunteer, he can fight Shiraz, an easy fight, or go back down. What I would like him to do is bring up Boots, challenge Boots, come up to 168.
He's not going to give him a shot.
If you were good enough to train, I know it's never going to happen, but it'd be interesting to me anyway. Bring up.
Well, can I
Boots.
ask? Can I
Or
introduce
drop
this?
all
'Cause
those boots,
can I
drop
piggyback
all
off
those
what?
belts,
Can I piggyback off what the filthy?
bring up all those 160s.
I want to piggyback off what the filthy casual is saying because it's a good point. Like Crawford at this point is sort of at like Roy Jones level post John Ruiz, where he's this pound for pound marvel. But even after he beat Spence, he was already there in a way. And you saw what happened in the Madrimov fight. It wasn't a good turnout pay-per-view wise, or and they didn't sell out the place. Now with Canelo, Crawford said afterwards, "I'm the face of boxing," but he's 38, and like the filthy casual says, like they said in Breaking Bad, just because you killed Jesse James doesn't make you Jesse James. And it's a good point here in boxing too. When Shane Mosley beat De La Hoya, he couldn't sell out either. He needed an A side to make it work. So Crawford, I'm going to ask a question: would it be better to fight Shiraz in England if he's willing to go there and make it a big event, big stadium event, or fight an American or Mexican American type figure in the States again?
His best option is a rematch, actually.
Yes.
I think that other than that, besides a rematch with Canelo, that's a good question. I couldn't answer you. I don't know.
Besides the rematch with Canelo, make it.
BDA, I got something to say. It's off subject, but it's regarding the channel. If we have anybody, I don't know where Bucho or Gonzalo, if anybody is close to LA, I'm gonna host a event with the Pacheco brothers, most likely next month. So if one of you guys want to pull up and do like a quick little interview for the channel, that'd be kind of cool too. But
hey, that's
yeah.
great, man. That's great to hear. The
We
Pacheco
need
brothers.
a correspondent in LA. I think I know the guy. His name's Evil Green.
But wait a minute,
wish I
hold
was
on,
in LA
hold
right
on.
now.
Just to clarify, I don't want to get into legal trouble here. My training urges me to ask specific questions. When you say the Pacheco brothers, you're talking about the boxers, right? You're not talking about like some drug dealers or something. The Pacheco brothers are in town. They're taking over.
Yeah, Diego and Federico Pacheco.
Okay. Good to know. Hey, that's cool. Hey, well, listen, if we can get him down
Diego
for
shit the bed, bro. Diego shit the bed that last fight. I was at his last fight. I hate when I tell everybody, be like, hey, check out this guy, and then he lays an egg. Man, I hate when that happens, man.
Wait, just to clarify,
wasn't his best
hold on, just to clarify,
It
you're
wasn't.
talking about the
Yeah, but he had a shitty
Macombi
performance
fight.
before that too. So now there's a pattern.
Yeah, just to clarify, you're talking about the Macombi fight, the most recent fight, right? The Macombi porn stash guy.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy. Like, he's a cool dude, but man, like, I don't. He wasn't throwing punches. He didn't go for it. You got to get guys like that out of there. You got to make
He's
a
patient, bro.
versus the B level guys, because if those are the guys you're gonna knock out, because once it's A level, the knockouts are gonna go away. You got to be more careful. So it was weird, man.
He hasn't been looking impressive. No.
Well, the worst thing about that Macombi fight was Caleb Plant managed to outfight the guy on the inside and then eventually stop him. Pacheco's supposed to be the guy that, hey, look, he's long. He's scored some sensational stoppages before. I understand you want to show you can box, but you did that in the Steven Nelson fight. Now it's time to, if Caleb Plant stopped him, now you're supposed to be able to do something similar to that, and he couldn't do it. That was a fight that made. Yes,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were finished, my man.
I was finished. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. So, and Steve Nelson, didn't he just get stopped like in 30 seconds in his last fight
That was
on
weird,
Saturday?
man. That was fucking. He looked shot already. People want to talk
Oh
about
yeah.
this guy shot. That guy looked shot
He
from
just
the
got like
get go.
knocked out like immediately. Who knocked him out again? Who was that?
A Cuban guy.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. So that doesn't look good for Pacheco either, bro.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And he wasn't
Because he
even
had
one
a
of the
hard
good.
time. He had a hard time with Steve Nelson. You know, that guy had him
Good point.
thinking a lot. You know.
But sober. He didn't even lose to what he didn't even lose to one of the good Cubans. You know, the ones that they want to keep in they keep him in jail so they don't escape. This is the type of Cuban that they go, hey, can I leave? Yeah, sure, why not? Like they couldn't wait for it to get rid of these dudes. That's the type of guy he lost
What are
against.
you waiting for? What are you doing?
Really good point. You lost to Oye Papi. Oye Papi.
Yeah. By the way, what's his name? Don Francisco has been Don Francisco has been contacting me on the Don Francisco has been contacting me on the shortwave radio. He's sending me messages and all that. He wants to get back on the show to talk about Osleis Iglesias and Hernandez, the guy that was sparring Canelo. So hey, yeah, there's a Cuban resurrection ongoing. But back to this whole thing about okay, so Zero Cool. Shout out to Zero Cool. He's going to be talking to the Pacheco brothers. We'll see what happens with that. In terms of Crawford, Steve Kim wrote a article a couple of weeks ago, and he goes, "Who's next?" And he's talking about who is going to be the next face of boxing. And it's a good question because Usyk is 38. Fury, who knows if he's going to fight again. Joshua, again, who knows if he's going to fight again. Dubois, he's already dented. Who knows what's going to happen with that dude. Canelo's 35. So Steve Kim was saying that it could be Bam Rodriguez. It could be Benavides. It could be Abdullah Mason. He said Virgil Ortiz could be one of those. Who do you guys think is going to be the next guy that picks up he also mentioned, Emiliano Vargas, and I think he mentioned at the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see somebody like Crawford give one of these young dudes a chance, like a Boots, like a Virgil.
Right.
Give those guys a shot. Okay, give the best guy that you feel earned it, which in my opinion would be Virgil, a shot. But at least if you're not gonna give Virgil a shot, then give Boots a shot. Give somebody. What I'm saying is, give these dudes an opportunity to if they fall short, they fall short. That's it.
To mantle the face of boxing, to assume the mantle. Yeah, you got to pass the torch on, give someone a chance.
Mayweather set the trend where they don't want to do that no more. Mayweather didn't do it. Canelo didn't do it. Now Crawford's not doing it. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're gonna have a star at that level for a while, for a long time.
I would respect, man.
I think the next phase.
That's not true, bro. He gave young Canelo an opportunity, so that's not true.
Yeah, a 23-year-old Canelo.
No, yeah, he weight drained.
Yeah, that's a big difference from a 27, 28-year-old. Hold on, that's a big difference from a 27, 28-year-old Boots or Virgil. That's a big difference.
Yeah, and by the way, hold on, Red Breed. I already know where you're going with this. Like, how old was Teofimo? Like, look, you're comparing apples and oranges. That's like saying, well, Crawford just moved up from 154 to 168. Let's get Brian Norman to skip to 168 and for him to beat Shiraz. Just because one guy did it doesn't mean that's the standard for everyone else to do it. That's not how it works. But in regards,
it's kind of similar. Teofimo's the young guy, up and coming, and Loma and Mayweather were the older legends. So
Loma compared to Mayweather had been in the pros for way longer. And again, just because one guy managed to do it.
Lomachenko fans, he's the greatest fighter we've ever seen.
According to according to the Lomachenko fans, like, who cares? Like,
yeah, I mean, according to my mother, who she doesn't watch boxing.
Yeah,
according come on,
Billy Joe.
But listen. Yeah. I want to say this though. So. Who's the problem with bringing up a new star, by the way, is, and something that Steve Kim has mentioned for a while now, is these guys aren't fighting enough. So if these guys aren't fighting enough, nobody's watching them. How do you develop a star? How do you get them out there long? Like Steve Kim always brings up the example of, you go to a restaurant and they got these great burgers, but they only sell them twice a year. So how the fuck are they gonna be famous? You know, is that you need a whole marketing team just to make that happen, like turning into an event.
You can't predict. You can't predict the next phase. Like, who knew Canelo was going to come up and take over the mantle? Nobody.
So
What do you mean? No, that's not
Oh,
true.
we knew that. We
He
knew
lined
that.
up,
That's not
bro.
true. That's not true. That's not
The
true.
fact that they gave him the fight versus Mayweather at 23 years old shows you
Yeah,
that's the new
Yeah.
guy.
yeah, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
that was before.
What
Okay.
other 23-year-old would get that? Nobody.
But that's hold on, hold
Yeah,
on,
but
hold
that
on.
was
Real quick, real quick.
The
Wait, wait,
next
wait.
Oh
favorite boxer's gonna
yeah.
have to make their own
What
way.
is fucking retards doing?
I mean, let's be real. Even if Boots or Virgil were to get a Crawford fight, let's say they beat him. Let's just say they beat him. That doesn't automatically mean you're gonna become a pay-per-view star,
Well,
bro.
listen. Let's
Yeah, I
let's
mean, but he
speculate.
doesn't
Let's
have the
speculate.
personality.
Let's speculate. That's what I'm asking you guys to do, to speculate. Because look, Canelo, he was doing good numbers in 2010, 2011 in Mexico. 2 years later, he's fucking doing great numbers against Austin Trout in the Alamodome or whatever they call it over there in Texas. So looking at the trend right now, who do you guys think, out of all the guys I mentioned, Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, Bam Rodriguez, Benavides, Abdullah Mason, who is the guy that people are going to bring up and say, oh, hey, that's a mainstream boxer right there?
None of the
The two
above.
closest,
It's
the
gonna,
two closest ones, the two closest guys are Benavidez and Boots, because Boots is a ticket seller and Benavidez is a
Boots is
decent
not a
ticket
ticket
seller.
seller.
Yes, he is.
It's not
No,
going
he's
to be
not.
Benavidez, man.
No, he's not.
He's not at
He is.
those weight classes,
No,
man.
he's not. No, he's
But
not.
he is.
Why Benavides?
Because he
Because
told in
Mexican
Philadelphia.
supposedly or something? Or why
Because
do
he
people
told in
keep bringing up
Philadelphia.
Benavides?
Especially when you compare him to his peers, everybody else you named, which is Bam, Abdullah Mason, who yet to even fucking main event, Virgil. None of these guys have sold over 10,000 tickets. So if you're using that criteria, bro, he is a ticket seller. That's a fact.
Who has the most
It ain't
upside?
gonna be Boots.
Who has the most upside?
What do we mean by upside? Talent, or what are we talking about?
No, upside in terms to become a superstar. Who can be built into a superstar? Who has potential?
I think Emiliano Vargas has
Probably,
potential.
look, I
Okay,
think
that's a good one.
I think
That's a good one.
Emiliano Vargas,
in my opinion, Bam Rodriguez is a little too small, and we know that smaller weights are not as popular mainstream, like amongst the casuals. I think Benavides, he's decent as far as like popularity, and what makes a boxer popular, it's got to be something in regards to his boxing style. Benavides is electrifying. He's got speed. He's exciting. That's what makes him somewhat relevant. Remember Pacquiao? You don't have to be all that great looking. You just have to have something about you when it comes to boxing that the people say, oh, that dude's badass. Pacquiao had it. Benavides to some extent has it, but now that he went up to 75, he ain't knocking fools out. It's got to be a dude that's got talent. Maybe Boots.
Well, can I say
Boots
this?
is too boring, man. He's too nerdy. And
Boots is
I
too
hate to
private.
say, but
Well,
if
we
you're
haven't. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying he just doesn't have the personality for it.
Okay,
Not
can I
like-
say this? Can I say this?
We haven't seen Boots at 154, and there's a lot of big fights there. So if he manages to clean up that division or beat a bunch of guys there, maybe he starts to become
The guy.
But I don't think. Listen, we haven't seen that. I know Dirk's saying that. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I don't know.
Hey, by the way, can we stop this? Hold on. When did we start? Hold on. When did we start doing this whole thing where we change people names on Discord? Now we got to go after it. Rare Breed, you're still Rare Breed. I don't care what you change your name to. You're still Rare Breed. If you could change it to Skyler or whatever, I'm not gonna start calling you Skyler. It's Rare Breed.
Change your name to whatever you want. You Rare Breed to me.
You guys scoffed at when I said Xander Sayas, but there's a reason why Virgil Ortiz wants to fight him.
Because he's fruit.
No, because he's the weakest link.
He's a low hanging fruit, right? He's low hanging fruit. He brings a Puerto Rican fan base, right?
Disagree.
And it helps him cross over because Virgil Ortiz has been around for a while and he hasn't really crossed over yet.
He's
Part of
almost
the reason
30.
he hasn't crossed over
He's not doing
is he doesn't
shit.
speak Spanish.
He's not doing
No,
anything.
because he doesn't speak Spanish.
He's not doing anything. He's fighting fucking
It's because he doesn't speak Spanish.
Well, what's gonna happen
That's
with
why.
Mexicans? What's gonna happen
he's
with
a Puerto
Mexicans is
Rican
they're gonna
Devin
go
Haney.
through a lull. And as far as stars, same way Puerto Ricans did after Tito Trinidad was the guy. That was the idol. That was like their Chavez. After that, you had Cotto, and Cotto. Yeah, people liked him, but they didn't love him. They didn't adore him, and he wasn't like
Because
a
he's a
mega
loser.
star.
But why
You know
is
what I
that though?
Wait a minute,
Was it the Margarito
Who's-
fucking beat down? Hey, we gotta recognize. We gotta recognize. Are you there? I want to know why Miguel Cotto. Why? What? Yeah, you're right. Why wasn't he loved as much as Trinidad?
Because
Obviously,
he was a loser.
Personality.
Because he was a
What is-
loser.
No, hold on.
He
One
had
at a
he
time.
didn't have the personality, bro.
No, man, it was
he's
because
a
he was a
dick, bro.
loser. He never won the
So
big
that
one.
nigga Trinidad was
He was
putting
like
people on.
Marv Levy.
All right, hold on.
That's why.
He was like the
Listen.
Buffalo
Hold
Bills
on.
of boxing.
One thing here. Recognize seems to be muted, so I don't know if he's going to be jumping in.
Not
But
sure.
I've talked to Recognize about this because Tito was Trinidad, by the way. He was beloved. He would go on the Puerto Rican parade, and people would try to get on, and they would try to rip his clothes off. He was a saint. Kodo comes along, and I've seen videos of this, by the way. People go up to him, and he gives him the cold shoulder. And the worst is he's got that big-titted wife. So he's enticing people to approach him just so they can get a look at those big, fun bags as well. And then he gives him the cold shoulder. So all of that encompassed. He was a good boxer. He did win some big fights, like he did against Zab Judah, Shane Mosley, Sergio Martinez. But that's what we're talking about when it comes to being the next big thing in boxing, mainstream. There does have to be some sort of like a character personality thing there that attracts people, and Cotto just didn't have that.
Yeah, but to some extent, you know what? I'm not Puerto Rican, but he was really popular though. He might not have been as popular as Trinidad. Still, he was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one more thing I want to say here. I want to say, somebody said that Jaron Ennis can't be mainstream because he's too nerdy. But look, whether he's nerdy or whether he's a thug, whatever, he's attracting people in Philadelphia. And that's where it should start.
Exactly.
All these people, what they do is, I remember Kelly Pavlik versus Jermaine Taylor. He beats him for the middleweight title. That was in Atlantic City. So both fan bases from Arkansas and from Ohio, they could go to Atlantic City and they watch the fight there. And then what do they do over there at Top Rank? Oh, let's hold the rematch in Vegas. It was fucking half empty. It was worse than Atlantic City. I mean, Atlantic City was good. Then you compare it to what happened in Vegas. It was a desolation over there. So these people now have to start thinking, okay, that's what Eddie Hearn is thinking correctly. I'm going to keep him in Philly. We got to keep this guy in Philly, build him up as an attraction. Then it starts building hype. Like, ooh, who's this guy in Philly? Did you see this guy? Did you hear about this good dude who's filling out venues in Philly? And then you can maybe move, outward. Even Tank Davis, he was on the East Coast a lot. And then once he started getting attraction, he fought on the West Coast and then back to the East Coast. But you got to know how to work it.
I mean, you see it already. Canelo fans or a lot of Mexican fans already in Benavidez comments saying, fight Crawford, avenge Canelo. It's like fans are going to look for the next guy to move on to it. It's going to be the same thing with Crawford fans. They're going to look for their next guy to move on to.
But can I say something about
Benavidez?
Benavidez, though?
Those two people are Benavidez and Booth.
But that's the other thing. I don't know who mentioned the Guns was talking about Benavidez and his flashy and all that. And yeah, I agree. Benavidez is fun to watch. However, I want to introduce this point. At 175, it doesn't seem like he's going to be as destructive as he was at 168. Could that affect his future?
Also, that's not the only problem. The other problem is there's not enough names at 175 for Benavidez to become a star.
That's true.
There's
right.
two, and you
Canelo
can
has
fight
a
5-1 and become a star fighting those two.
Two of them are old as
If you had
fuck.
any momentum, you
One
could
of
fight
them.
those two guys.
And he'll probably lose to Devo, and he'll probably lose to one of those two guys.
But the two biggest names are two Eastern Europeans. That's the issue.
That's the biggest name.
Become that big. That's it.
Eastern Europeans, bro.
It's one name, dude. It's
Hey, guys, there's Tomarazos, there's Zurdo Ramirez.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, that's great. Right there. Yeah. No, but Benavidez, realistically, all it takes is one big name. If he beats one of those guys, he could be a star. But I just don't see it happening. He just doesn't have as big of an appeal. He doesn't.
I think Canelo might give him a shot now.
Yeah, he needed that Canelo.
Yeah, I think so.
Crawford.
It's gonna be a
Crawford
sport
fans
loss.
are looking for the next big thing, and
bro,
Spence had more fans than Crawford.
he did, but no, the truth is, bro, Benavidez needed that Canelo fight to bridge over, and he's never gonna get it. It is what it is.
Never say
He
never.
needed that fight.
I don't know, because I don't think he has that big a star power. He just doesn't. He doesn't have
bro.
it. If
Like,
He
the
does.
way
He does. He does. But
if he had some momentum, if he had
dance
some
partners, you need the dance
if he
partners.
had some good momentum, then yeah. I'll give you a better example. If he had an organic following somewhere like Ryan did, and let's say Ryan went on and he actually beat and he fought everybody and he actually beat like Devin Haney at lightweight and then he beat Teofimo, he would be a fucking bona fide star right now. But he sucks.
Yeah, he just sucked around the star, but he sucks.
How you guys hear me? Can you?
All right, let Gypsy go in. Gypsy, go ahead.
No, don't want to talk right now. I'm just saying how you guys hear me.
Uh,
You guys hear me?
just boost your volume a little. Boost your volume a little bit.
Gypsy,
Please.
you've been on this
Why don't
show.
we-
You've been on this show since nearly the beginning, and you still sound like you're talking through like a microphone speaker that pastors use in the streets of New Jersey. What the hell? Get yourself a good mic. Get yourself a good phone, man. What's going on?
Get yourself some a setup, Gypsy. Come on.
2025.
I'm merely a peasant.
It-
Peasant, I think.
All right, I don't know what's
He's on
going
the road.
Yeah, he's on the road. He's driving
Anyway.
his clients again. He's driving the entertainment to the party, if you know what I mean. But listen,
Dude,
I
but
wanted
Canelo had a lot of. Canelo was lightning in a bottle, man. He had the looks. He already had a built-in following from Mexico. Those were the HBO days, which are the most. Those were the best days for
Yeah,
boxing.
bro, that's crazy.
That umbrella. He had the.
Those
so he
were
had
the
the
days
name.
to build a star because a lot of people had
One at a time,
HBO.
fellas, one at a
Right.
time,
He
right.
fought a
time,
star
don't-
at 21. He fought
One at a
Floyd
time,
Mayweather
guys.
at
One at a
21.
time.
You guys are talking over
Yeah,
each
and it's
other.
right now it's too confusing. Nobody knows where to watch boxing anymore. There's no hub. We don't have a hub anymore.
All right, now here, hey, listen. Here's the dark horse then. May I introduce another name? You guys remember when Anthony Joshua came to New York in 2019? I think Recognize was there to fight Andy Luis. They made a big event out of that. It's like, whoa, a Brit in New York. Look at this giant. Look at this dude. He's built like BDA. My goodness gracious. So my thing is this: if a Brit can sort of do that, in the United States, what about Moses Aitama?
Oh,
That's not going to happen.
Why not?
I mean, we'll see.
I
We'll
don't
see.
think
Why not?
that would take so much for that to that would mean that you would have to not charge pay-per-views. You would have to have this guy accessible. You would have to have him fight like I don't know how many, like 6 good fights in a row where everybody can watch it and to build his name. But if you stick any of his fights behind a paywall while they're trying to grow this motherfucker, forget it.
Dude, he's already fighting on pay-per-view. He's already fighting on pay-per-view.
That's what I'm saying. You put any of these guys behind a paywall, you can't grow a fighter behind a paywall. It's not going to happen.
No.
A guy like that has to like knock everybody out. He's basically got to be a new Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
if
he knocks everybody out and you make those fights accessible, then fucking game on.
Somebody said that Canelo had everything, like the looks and stuff. You know why Canelo started selling a lot ever since like the beginning? Yeah, he developed into a good boxer, a great boxer, because he was red haired, and that was kind of odd to the Mexican people. So they started following and paying a lot of attention to him. So when he crossed over, oh, it's the ginger Mexican. That's what really like blew up. And
he had a younger Oscar De La Hoya pushing him too. So Oscar,
he was already destined to be popular before De La Hoya. But yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah,
But hold on.
De La Hoya got him that American push. He was already big in Mexico.
With Moses Aitama, you guys sort of just poo-pooed the ideas. Like, oh, no,
People
never.
were talking from in the street. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
first of all, guys,
Aitama, I don't see that. Okay, so if he fights, you guys think if he fights behind a paywall, he's not gonna grow.
Yeah,
as
gonna
fast or
grow.
whatever. Oh, okay,
Hey,
that's true.
Gonzalo.
So he's gonna have to fight for free for a couple fights.
Yeah,
Gonzalo.
he should.
Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the fight, Gonzalo?
Which
Hold
fight?
on,
The
I'm talking about
Crawford fight,
Moses
yes.
Aitama.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
Moses
hold on.
Aitama.
We're talking about.
Hold on, Gonzalo. What are you,
I'm talking about.
what
I'm
was your
talking
score?
about. Oh my God! I'm
Gonzalo,
talking about
what was
Moses
your score?
Aitama here. What are you guys interrupting me for? You guys are interrupting me.
Well, hold on. I can't hear.
You guys are
I can't hear. Can I just hear him?
Okay,
Score,
you're
Gonzalo.
interrupting me. You're interrupting me 15 times, man.
Let's be
Moses
real talk.
Aitama.
Let's be real talk.
Moses Aitama. This dude, he's already the anointed one in England, right? So, okay,
Yes.
he fights behind the paywall, but he's got the Sheik possibly behind him. I mean, he's with what's his name, Frank Warren. So if he's got the Saudi connection, maybe if he's on those mega events, they won't be behind the paywall. So if he takes over England and he really is what they're making him out to be over there, this destroyer, no one's going to be able to stop him. It's heavyweights. The heavyweight sell. Wouldn't it stand to reason that a heavyweight destroyer could sell in the United States?
Eventually, first it will have to be like Lennox Lewis, I guess. No, but Lennox Lewis was fighting in the U.S. No, here's the thing, though. When it comes to Aitama, they're gonna first try to milk Aitama in the UK, and if that involves pay-per-views in the UK, they're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna keep making money, and then eventually, maybe he'll start to fight in the United States because that's what he has to do if he wants to become an international name. But that's not going to happen right away. They could start right away to build that. They could start right away, right now, thinking ahead. let's make him into an international star. But that's not going to happen. It's
Well,
going to
listen,
become a UK thing for a while.
We got Furioso. He's from the continent. He's got a direct line to what the Brits are saying. Furioso, we're talking about whether who's going to take the mantle of the next boxing star. Do you think that Aitama could make it as a next star, not only in England, but perhaps even in the US as well? All right.
Good evening.
I guess. Good evening. Good evening.
Now then, I mean, yeah, he's potential. I have to say potentially because he's young. But yeah, potentially he is that star, isn't he? He's got time on his side. He's big, he's strong, he's both-handed. He punches like a speed-wise, like a middleweight. Very elusive with his hands. So yeah, he's the biggest prospect in, dare I say it, world boxing.
Whoa.
For age. Yeah, it is. For age, if you look at his age and the division he's in and what money it can make, it's the heavyweight division, for God's sake. You know, you
Don't
can
sound
have
too
a
excited.
prospect. You
Don't
can
sound
have
too
a
excited about it,
prospect
bro.
at flyweight. Yeah, my favorite fight on planet Earth, no one gives a shit about him, for instance, Bam Rodriguez.
Uh-huh.
Or my top three.
That's my guy. That's my
Okay.
guy.
One of my top three fighters in the world, in my pound for pound, sorry to divert the question. So my pound for pound is Usyk, Inouye, and Bam. That's my pound for pound because the subject in the is that. No one cares about Bam like that. So yeah, he's the biggest prospect in world boxing.
Nice.
But then he's a prospect, isn't it? You know, someone can pop his chin. That's what a prospect means. Someone can pop your chin at any time because you're still, you know, hardening, so to speak, aren't you? He's young. But yeah, man, fuck, he's good.
You know what?
He's got that African mix, Nigerian with that European dominant white Russian.
The fuck?
Yeah.
He's a fucking pit, mate.
It's
But
like,
where is
it's
he
like
from?
Van Rodriguez. I mentioned that he's too small. Yeah, he's really, really good.
Yeah,
Another thing,
he's the best skillful wise. I said it on a show on Sober's show the other day. Skillful wise, I think he's more skillful than Canelo. Straight up and down, around and anywhere you want it. But obviously, one guy's been built and he's the face of boxing. He's the cash cow and whatever. But skillfully, Bam is much better than Canelo. How do you like them apples? Yeah. So that's what it is. But no one cares about Bam like that. You know, he's a Mexican. He's a Mexican from San Antonio. You know, who cares like that? So yeah, that's where it's at. So to answer your question, yeah, he's the biggest prospect.
you know where it's also at. You know where it's also at. You mentioned the heavyweights, okay, and the flyweights. They don't sell as well. The welterweights, but the welterweights have been held hostage. They haven't been that popular because the fights haven't happened for like the last 15 years. But now that Turkey Al-Rashid is in boxing, and then we got prospects like what's his name, Abdullah Mason, then Emiliano Vargas. I think a guy like Emiliano Vargas, if he beats like a top welterweight or these up and coming welterweights, and the division becomes again one of the glamour divisions, like a very popular division that all eyes on are those fighters. One of those guys can certainly become a household name, like Emiliano Vargas.
Gonzalo, they certainly can, but the heavyweight division at the minute is at passing the torch stage. Yeah, plus it's the biggest division, so the best guys are old now, aren't they? Or getting old or about to leave. They're in the twilight zone, twilight of their career. So obviously the hot shot is someone like Tuma, the youngest hot shot coming, which he is. It's the perfect moment, you know, for him to be passed the torch. Obviously, Dubois was a prospect, but he wasn't clever enough. He was thick. He had all the physical attributes, everything, but you need the brain to match, the intelligence to match the acumen to match your skills, don't you? Your frame. And as you can tell, Dubois was thick as a plank, as a bit of wood. So he couldn't persevere, do any better, so to speak. Did well. But yeah, Tumo is the guy, isn't he?
I mean, it seems like you got to. Go ahead, Villa. What?
Emiliano Villa. This is Emiliano Villa. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. What's up?
Anybody here think that I said didn't happen?
You're cutting off, man. You're cutting off.
You're cutting off. You're breaking up, man.
Do you guys believe that Canelo didn't throw that fight?
Was it?
Oh no. If Canelo threw the fight, no. The problem with Canelo is he's only throwing 2 punches at a time, and if you can deal with this power and you throw more than 2 punches, it doesn't matter who commences a combination. If you throw more than 2, the opponent's gonna end up throwing more, like Bivol did, like Crawford did. So not only is it gonna look impressive to the judges, you're gonna be able to tag that dude up and beat him up.
Hey, by the way,
I think he did. Emiliano, I think he did because he's just said the other day. He just said, I'll fight. Hold on a minute, Gonzalo. He said, I'll fight Crawford again. I'm not too bothered. My legacy is made.
Hey, but hold on. We're almost.
It was also made before the first fight.
We're almost at the end of the show here.
His mentality was going into the fight. Look, my legacy's made. I'm good. Give me the right money.
All right, but I gotta ask though. Don Madrazos, you were saying that Barrios threw the fight against Pacquiao. So why are you so surprised when other people come out with this type of theories?
Oh, because if you see the Pacquiao fight, that shit just did not look like.
Oh, come on.
The guy just had too many openings that he didn't take. I was like, what's going on here?
Mario's level.
Oh, this guy, he didn't. I'm just saying, that looks suspect. This did not look suspect. This looked like
Floyd Mayweather could be Mario Barrios.
Hey, by the way,
I watched the fight again. I know when I called in, I was like, "Oh, he got destroyed." So I watched the fight again, and I slowed it down, just studied it a little bit more. And I actually ended up giving Canelo 4 solid rounds, and I could see an argument for a swing here.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, real quick, shout out to America Primero. Shout out to America Primero. How come the fucking chats aren't showing up? All right, America Primero.
Retracted the message.
All right. First of all,
you retracted the message.
Yeah, but there's even some that never showed up here. Like there's one. It's not showing up on my fan funding. And Jay Nails had actually contributed with the super chat earlier. Shout out to Jay Nails who said, real quick, he said, when was the last time Canelo was the bigger guy? I'd say Liam Smith was the last time. He was a smaller guy at fight night. Well, I don't know if he was smaller than Crawford, Jay Nails, but they certainly weren't. There wasn't that big size discrepancy. Anyway, because at the beginning of the show, guys, we were talking about who is pound for pound. Is it Usyk? Is it Inoue? Or is it Crawford? Who's number one? And that was one of the things that came up. That was the weight. So I'm just giving you the context of that super chat. And shout out to Jay Nels. And shout out to America Primero or America First. I think is that what he's saying? Is he saying America as in America First in the country, or saying America the Mexican football team?
The football team. Football team.
Oh, America.
Yeah, the football.
I don't know. Yeah. But listen, we got to go. We've been out here for 2 hours. We'll try to be back as soon as possible with another show. There's not much going on in boxing. So we'll probably be back, do another open lines so you guys can jump in.
It's all over from here. It's all downhill.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Pound guy is
TKO is taking over, and he's gonna fuck up the whole thing.
Hey, can I mention something real fast that before the show finishes? You know something funny
No, it's over, Gonzalo. It's over, Gonzalo. Show's over.
Okay, wait, sober.
No, it's over.
Wait, hold on. Jesus.
Put a cork in it.
Let him go. Let him go.
Oh my fucking god, dude. Hey, remember Canelo to a lot of people was fucking huge before the fight? Now he's getting a lot of fucking pity pat points, or like, oh, he's little just because Crawford mentioned it. Do people not know? You said it, Bucho. I always knew he wasn't really that big, but people before the fucking fight, he's huge, but now he's little. It's fucking weird, man.
Well, it's like Devin
Now,
Haney.
Gonzalo, what
Sounds
if you have the
angry.
fight scored at?
You're too small. You're too
Watched
small.
it about 12 times already. Crawford definitely won.
It
8 rounds
wasn't
to
12
4.
times.
What was your overall score?
Yeah, like 8 rounds to 4, and every time they traded, Crawford ended up scoring more punches.
Yeah.
And he hurt Canelo, man. He hurt him.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
See, look, now you said too much, Gonzalo. That's why I said put a cork in it, bro.
Yeah,
Hey, by the way,
watch it about 3 times a day.
there you go. three times a day. Three times a day. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Sobers because he was Sobers. How long did you go on live for before the fight?
Ooh, like 2 weeks.
God, 2 weeks. All right,
Damn.
2 weeks. Like total recall.
2 weeks.
But
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But all right. So shout out to
Tony
now
P.
Sobers. Do you want to plug your new channel? Because I
He's the same channel.
no. He's got a new one because to stream because some shenanigans happened. Some
That's a
hijinks.
backup one, yeah.
by the
I
way,
can
the
just, I
guy
can
who's
just drop the
pound,
link right here, really.
the pound for pound guy is always going to be Usyk. Doesn't matter what anybody does.
Yeah,
He's the guy who
yeah.
beat Tyson Fury, the guy who beat the bomb squad. Yeah, so
Oh,
that's how
wow.
it works.
Tyson
Oh
Fury.
Lord.
Tyson
He beat
Fury, who lost to
Deontay Wilder as shit.
UFC
Yeah,
fighter, bro. That Tyson
that's how
Fury,
it. No,
we
that's
got
how it
exposed
works.
by UFC
Crawford is the
It's
fighter.
pound
like
for
that.
pound goat.
Who beats Tyson Fury? So it's Usyk. So he pound for
Yeah,
pound.
well, we know you
There's a
love
lot. There's a
Tyson
lot
It's
of
Fury,
not
people
the
that
man.
can beat
guy.
Tyson Fury.
It's not the guy who beat Canelo who
Anybody who
gets the
can beat
pound for
Tyson
pound
Fury.
He almost
mantle
lost to
now.
an MMA fighter.
The guy who beat Fury.
The
Remember
nigga lost
that,
that fighter,
people.
bro. You don't
Oh,
care.
come on, the N word.
Remember
Come on,
that.
what's with the N word? What's with the N word?
You disappeared. You disappeared for like 3 weeks when Tyson Fury got his ass whooped. We didn't forget.
Okay, and what?
I was here.
Yeah.
I was here.
You know you weren't, motherfucker. You
I
disappeared
was
for a
here.
while. You
I
were
was here, but
more.
you Usyk
You
guys,
were
you
in the
Usyk
morning.
guys were fucking, you Usyk guys were fucking
Yeah,
celebrating
I'm
like
not a
you won
Usyk
the
guy,
World
but
Cup or
your
something.
man got cooked
You
and
know
you
what
were
I'm
in the
saying?
morning and you disappeared.
Celebrating like you fucking beat
But now
the
now
best
you pop
fighter
out of
in the
nowhere act
world.
like you're
That's
an
what
Usyk guy.
happened.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't Crawford. It ain't Crawford's number one.
I don't think.
I mean,
It's
nobody
Usyk.
cares about your opinion. Everybody else has a number one right
Yeah,
now.
This is
nobody
my
cares
opinion,
about
bro. I don't
your
think number
fucking
3 should be
shit ass
anyway.
opinion.
I don't know who the number
Nobody
3 should
cares
be.
about your boots fantasy. Nobody.
Okay, well, nobody mentioned
Usyk
boots.
Yeah,
Crawford. I don't know who
yeah.
else.
Your boots fantasy. No one cares about them.
Yeah.
Nobody. Absolutely
You
nobody.
guys bought into the idea that Crawford won that fight. I can't believe it.
Oh my
All right,
God.
listen, Emiliano,
Here
we gotta
Revolution,
move on
bro.
because it's the end. It's the end of the show. We gotta go, man. But shout out to everybody here. Shout out to. Oh, by the way, I posted Sobers' new channel, or it's a new channel for the moment, so it's in the link. Go check it out. It's
Man, he about to delete that shit, man. I ain't even gonna look at that shit.
I don't know what happened. He said somebody. Yeah, that's the
what?
thing. Sobers.
Nothing got deleted.
He said it's
good.
another one. Hold up.
It's good to do these long shows, but if you're gonna be away, people are gonna play music. They're gonna play movies. You know what I mean? So it's you. I don't know if it's worth it to just leave it on for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's a community effort, right? So people have to be a little bit more conscious. But, people jumping on and on.
This isn't Hillary
It's not that
Clinton's.
hard just to check if the shit's down or not.
It
But
sounds like you read Hillary Clinton's book. It sounds like you read Hillary Clinton's book. It takes a village, and no, it doesn't take a village. It's you gotta roll up your sleeves, put on a little elbow grease, and you gotta do it yourself. You can't let the village do it for you. They're gonna fuck it up. The village idiot's gonna take over at one point.
Well, Dana White did take over.
Well, Dana White. I like how you say white, by the way, Emiliano. That's very old school. You don't just say white, you say white.
I got to tell you, I kind of told you guys exactly what he was going to do, and it happened. I mean, I think that everything I said happened, right?
All right, listen, we gotta go, man. We gotta go. But shout out to you, Emiliano. Shout out to Furioso, everybody, Gonzalo, Gypsy.
I'll be on next time. I just put on this.
Mario's was fixed.
Fantastic, man.
Oh,
Fantastic.
it was fixed to the 3rd degree, brother.
all right. Shout out to Mars. Shout out to Southpaw Lefty, Tarzan Gamer. Ray Reed was in here. Don J, Don Madrazos, Bucho, and of course, Never Sobers. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna leave. You guys can stay in the chat, obviously, but I gotta go. But shout out to everybody who showed up. Take it easy. Catch you on the next one.
Take it easy.
All right, and shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm talking about Parokua, Talking about Mark Vasquez, Grandpa Joe, Easy Benz, Let Me Ace, Ryan Jackson, Average Joe, Grandpa Joe. Whoa, how many Joes are there? Random Guy, shout out to Random Guy, one of the initiated, shout out to him. King KO, Warrior Way, Dark A Dog, Cheddar Bob, Jump Tube, who else? Skull Kid, 25, Eparacua, Golden State, Average, OG Blaze, Michael. If I forgot anybody, is because we got to go. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for joining us on this Open Lines Friday. There's not much going on in boxing until November, so it's going to be slim pickings from here on in. Going to try to get some special guests, trying to get a different variety of shows, maybe some historical shows. I want to get some boxing writers. You know, some of these fighters, they don't do it for me. They don't talk enough. They don't. You know, the other day, Virgil Ortiz, when he was talking about his sparring session with Canelo, he's like, I got this special move. I don't want to talk about it too much. I don't want to give too much away. He's like, fuck, I can see your fights. I don't need to see your special move in sparring. So fighters, sometimes they're reticent to give you too much information. So I want to talk to some people who are actually willing to open up a little bit more, and that could also include retired fighters. So we'll see how we work it out. But shout out to everybody in there. Don't forget to hit the like, really helps us out. Catch you on the next one. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Woo-hoo.
It's a dark